Welcome back to Memorial Stadium on the beautiful campus of Indiana University. And here come the Hoosiers. '70th meeting between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Indiana Hoosiers here this afternoon. Hawkeyes lead 38-27-4, but the Hoosiers have won the last two games. Iowa's last win here in Bloomington was in 2002, 24-8. Series tied at 17-17-1 here at Indiana. Wayne Larrivee, Chris Martin, Anthony Herron on hand here this afternoon, and there is Coach Kirk Ferentz leading this Iowa team, his 13th year as a head coach, his 10th season at Iowa. And for the Indiana Hoosiers, head coach Bill Lynch in his second full season after taking over the program following the death of head coach Terry Hepner. Lynch was head coach at Butler, Ball State, and DePaul. Captain's about to meet out of the 50-yard line. Coin toss in a moment. Bill LeMonnier is the referee we'll be hearing from this afternoon.
Captain, the side with the IU is heads. Backside with the state of Indiana is tails. Your choice. Tail? I'm sorry? Heads. Heads is the call. Heads. Let's come up tails. Indiana, you won the toss. Indiana's won the toss. Deferred to the second half. Kicking this way. Iowa swing around over here. Good spot right here, guys. Good luck today, gentlemen. Have a great
Iowa will receive to start the ball game, and that is nothing new. Under Kirk Ferentz, I believe that's like 111 out of 117 games that Iowa has started a game with the football offensively to begin.
He's consistent.
Yeah, they are. Where they work that out, it's amazing. One of those amazing stats, you know, that you come upon over the course of a Big Ten season. Iowa will be in the traveling uniforms, the white with gold trim, black helmets. Indiana in the cream and crimson with the crimson tops, crimson helmets, and white pants, white numbers. Both teams have lost 3 in a row. Both teams came in harboring bowl hopes, Chris, and I dare say, although it's just mid-season, that the winner here certainly gets to continue realistic hopes of a bowl game. The loser, it's going to be a long shot to make it back.
Well, no question about it. You talk to the coaches about it. No one wants to say it's a must-win. I understand their position, but it is. I mean, no one wants to go into conference play 0-3. Certainly talk about bowl stock. Like we said, it'll be going down like the market. So everyone's revved up and ready to go. And I tell you what, they couldn't have gotten a better day. It is absolutely gorgeous out here.
We saw Austin Starr getting set to boot it away. And back deep, Johnson, Koulianos, and Hampton for Iowa. Hampton on the far side of your screen. There was Daryl Johnson Koulianos, wide receiver. Just about set to go. Great to have you with us on a spectacular day in southern Indiana. And we're underway. Kind of a line drive kick. Hampton, the freshman, from the 4. He's got good speed and quickness, gets it out across the 20-yard line to the 21. Mitchell Evans in on that tackle along with Jerry Williams, the linebacker, 17-yard return. The quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes is a sophomore out of Mentor, Ohio, Ricky Stanzi. He won the job earlier this season over last year's starter, Jake Christensen. He has been mistake-prone of late. Struggled in his first start against Iowa State, however, retained the job and has started the last 2 games. Last week, he was 15 of 22 passing against Michigan State. First down for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Sean Green. And the linebacker who made penetration, Geno Johnson. For the Hawkeyes, the Rotel starting lineup, the skill position players. Andy Brodell has become the go-to receiver. Brett Morris is back at fullback following missing some time the last couple of weeks with a sprained ankle. On the offensive line, Bulaga is the guy they talk about as having great upside. He's just a sophomore from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Brueggemann makes all the calls in the middle. Second down. 2nd and 10. Hoosiers jump into the neutral zone. Green gets the call for a gain of about 4 to the 25-yard line. Jumping into the neutral zone, it appeared to be the fifth-year senior out of Centerville, Ohio, Greg Brown of the Indiana Hoosiers. Let's see if he was drawn offsides.
Offside defense. Number 62. 5 yards previous spot. Still second down.
On the defensive line, we've talked a lot about Jamie Curlow. He's having a tremendous year. Greg Middleton had 16 sacks a year ago, just 1 so far this season. In the linebacking core, Will Patterson is the captain back there. These linebackers run well. In the secondary, they've been dealing with injuries, but they get their 2 safeties back, Polk and Thomas, today, and that should help. Second down for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Snap is fumbled. Stanzi got it back, but he's going nowhere with it. We talked about turnovers for the Iowa Hawkeyes. 8 turnovers in the last 2 games, 5 of them by Ricky Stanzi.
Well, and this play is indicative of exactly what Iowa's been. I mean, you're talking about a center quarterback exchange, of course, falling on Ricky Stanzi's watch. And those are the things that really gets to Coach Ferentz. I mean, he knows his guys play hard, but yet they at times don't execute. They can't have that today.
Now they've got a third down of what would be termed third and long. 3rd and 6 yards to go. Iowa 9th in the conference in third down conversions. Stanzi. And a diving grab made by Brodell, and they're going to rule it a completion out at the 36-yard line of first down for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Nice catch by Andy Brodell, 11-yard gain. He's the senior out of Ankeny, Iowa.
Yeah, nice catch, and also a nice route. Way to sit down in the zone. He's a route runner that has functional speed, so he's not going to burn you deep, but he knows where the holes are in the defense, and he goes down and makes a nice play to move the chains. And that's what Indiana wants, though. They want to get Iowa behind the chains and keep them in third and long situations.
The officials are going to take a look at it. Again,
It's under review.
and I think that replay we just saw, Chris, may be the reason it's under review. But let's take another look at it. This is the shot from the end zone camera. I think we'll get a good look at it here, Chris. Gets the hands under it, but the ball, before he secured it, maybe touched the ground. What do you think?
Close.
It's very close.
Yeah. Sitting down on a curl route.
See, I don't know if you see that on the field, but you certainly can on replay. Yeah, that ball may be not secured by the time it hits the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see, but that's why they have replay.
Yeah. Might be tough to overturn, though.
Tom Ransom is the replay official. Does he have enough video evidence to overturn the call on the field? That's the question. Bill LeMonnier listening in.
And as they convene, you talk about what Indiana wants to do with Iowa. It's get them into third and long situations where Iowa clearly, they have a tougher time converting. Get another look at it.
There it is. I think it hit the ground. I think they're going to probably overturn it. And by the way, the booth is getting the same replays you're seeing at home on your television screen.
Following the review, it's been determined that the pass hit the ground, then was caught. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
Iowa has really, as I mentioned, struggled on third down, especially third down and anything more than 5 yards to go. And this is the conclusive replay. And there it is.
Yeah, you see it right there.
Good job by the crew, especially the end zone camera, making that pickup. Ryan Donahue on punt formation, sophomore, Evergreen Park, Illinois. He's averaged almost 42 yards a punt with 7 down inside the 20. And back deep is Ray Fisher. 3 returns, an average of 10 yards for Fisher. Fisher's one of the big playmakers for Indiana that has really been quiet for the most part, both as a wide receiver and as a return man.
Well, he's one of the fastest players on the team, probably behind Marcus Thigpen. He's one of those scat guys that likes to find the angles. He can hit a crease, so Iowa has to do a nice job in coverage.
4th down for the Hawkeyes. Good leverage into this kick by Donahue. Fisher on the return from the 26. Dancing gets to the 31. Return of about 5 yards on a 48-yard punt. Kellen Lewis, the junior out of Jacksonville, Florida. He makes things happen for these Indiana Hoosiers, but he has been, as we've mentioned, as so many of these Hoosiers have been, quiet over the last 3 weeks. 2 games against Iowa, though, Chris, you mentioned it in the open. 38 of 51 passing, 577 yards and 6 touchdowns. Most of that to James Hardy, who's no longer here. First down, football just across the 31 to the 32-yard line. Indiana spread offense, 4-man rush for Iowa. Mitch King breaking free, pass caught out of bounds. Turner, or I beg your pardon, Ray Fisher on the reception. But good pressure provided up front by Mitch King. The skill position players, Marcus Thigpen, we spoke of him. Fisher, another big playmaker. They've got to get Andrew Means back into this offense. On the offensive line, they've restructured now. They've moved people around. They've moved McDonald to left guard and taken Alex Berry out and put Pete Saxon, the left guard, over at center. Quick toss to the flank. This is what Fisher does best, running that bubble screen. Had Brandon Walker-Roby out in front of it, along with Terrence Turner. Fisher a gain of about 5-6 yards. The Rotel starting lineup for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They're really excited about Adrian Claiborne on the outside. The 2 kids inside are All-America caliber. The linebackers, A.J. Eads is from nearby Greenwood. And there is a look at the secondary. Safety's very strong against the run. And the cornerbacks have been solid as well. This is an excellent defense pass. Tip, intercepted. Intercepted by Greenwood down the sideline to the 15, and he's brought down near the 10-yard line. Brett Greenwood, the sophomore out of Bettendorf, Iowa, with his 2nd interception of the season and 33-yard return.
Well, defensive linemen are taught. You get those short passes, you get your hands up. Exactly what happens there. Tip ball drill. Greenwood does a nice job of flagging it in, but that play is made at the line. You talk about in the trenches. Watch him go up and get it.
Hard to tell from that replay. I couldn't tell who got it. Maybe Mitch King got his hand up there, but Greenwood the interception, his 2nd of the season. Golden opportunity for Stanzi and the Hawkeye offense. First down to the Hoosier 11. Here comes Jewell inside the 10-yard line. Iowa has struggled in the red zone with turnovers in recent weeks. A couple of turnovers in the red zone last week at Michigan State.
Well, no question about it. They have stubbed their toe this season, just kind of punching it in. And you look at the keys of the game, Iowa's got to go green. They've got to get him downhill early and control the battle up front. Well, you saw it in the interception play. And then for Indiana, Kellen Lewis has got to be like the Kellen Lewis from the video game, where he's running around making plays, legs and arm, and then they have to stuff the run. Can they slow down Sean Green?
Suzuki ATV's keys to the game. Stanzi broke it up, incomplete. Looked like Richard Council got a piece of it. The pass intended on they crossed the 2 wide receivers, but that pass was intended for Johnson Koulianos in the end zone.
And we talk about drive killers. Watch this. This is almost interception. You can't see it from that angle, but he sits on the slant route. And again, if there's been a big emphasis of struggle for Ricky Stanzi, it's the drive killers. He throws that ball right to the defensive back, who nearly had to get out of the way out of pure defense, because that was a heats-up missile coming at him.
Iowa in the red zone, last in the Big Ten. 73% scores, 12 TDs on 26 possessions. Stanzi nearly intercepted by Council. He was trying to force it into Johnson Koulianos once again.
Well, he figured since the defensive back Council didn't catch the first one, he'd give him another shot at it, because he is all over this slant route. Doesn't go for the fake outside cut. He sits on it. He should intercept this ball. Great play by Council. Worst play by Ricky Stanzi, delivering that ball where he did.
Trent Mossbrucker, the true freshman out of Mooresville, Iowa. About a 26-yard field goal attempt. Out of the hold of Ryan Donahue, the kick is up, and it is good. Interception by Brett Greenwood. 33-yard return. Iowa set up at the 11-yard line of Indiana, but the Hawkeyes settle for 3.
Well, partner, on that last slant route, Council does an excellent job of holding inside position. We'll see it here. So we get it all cleared up. He holds the inside position on the slant route. Stanzi has nowhere to go with the ball, puts him right in the line of fire. A good job of Rod Council recognizing the slant, not backpedaling, staying inside.
Very solid, but I'm sure he'd tell you I should have had the interception too.
Well, it's the second one, so yeah. But that's, I mean, credit Indiana too. I mean, really hunkering down in the red zone and holding Iowa to three points there.
Indiana is 9th in the Big Ten in kickoff returns, averaging under 20 yards per return, actually 18.9 yards. Getting set to boot it away for the Hawkeyes, Daniel Murray. And that's with Marcus Thigpen back there. He's been in his career among the nation's leaders in kickoff returns.
He's one of those guys, you give him the smallest crease and you'll be in his wake very quickly.
Thigpen muffs it. Able to collect and brought down to the 10-yard line. Let's go back to Dave Revson for an update on Minnesota, Illinois. Dave? Thank you, Dave. What did we see? Decker catch about 13 passes last week at Minnesota.
He's averaging 8 a game.
In their win over Indiana. First down for the Hoosiers, trailing 3-0 from their 11-yard line. Kellen Lewis at quarterback. 3 wide receivers set. Lewis good time. His receiver fell down. Penalty marker thrown. Trying to get it out to Troy Wagner. The penalty marker down. Looks like it's going to be a false start against Indiana.
Illegal formation offense. Number 87 was covered, went downfield. Penalty 9. Second down.
Illegal formation. Today's principal edge of the game. What do you think, partner, for Iowa?
Well, you talk about Iowa. They want to shorten the game, and that's pound the football with Sean Green. And they're so far they're starting to do that. And for Indiana, you know, Kellen Lewis, we talk about him. He's got to work his magic. And so far, his magic act's been a disappearing one. He's got to make some plays.
Iowa turned down the penalty at 2nd and 10 off the incompletion. Thigpen alongside of Lewis. Lewis running option, and his options were closed in a hurry by the All-America candidate, Mitch King, the Iowa defensive tackle. King came in with 6 tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and that's his 7th of the season.
Well, Mitch King exemplifies Iowa defense. I mean, he plays hard. Look at that bull rush. 3 yards in the backfield, fights off the block, and gets to Kellen Lewis. I mean, you want to talk Iowa football, it starts with Mitch King.
Loss of 5, 3rd and 15. Peyton, he's the straight-ahead downhill runner, and he runs right into the Iowa defense. A wave of the white flag on this particular set of downs for Indiana. And the Hawkeye defense has come to play as usual here today. And there's the defensive coordinator, Norm Parker. What a job he's done over the years in the Big Ten. He was at Michigan State for many years, and he's been Kirk Ferentz defensive coordinator at Iowa, and year in, year out, they have some of the toughest defenses in the conference.
Oh, yeah. And one thing they do is stop the run. We saw it that series.
Iowa should get good field position off of this Hagerup punt, and it's a short one. Andy Brodell makes the catch inside the 40, inside the 35, out of bounds, 34-yard line. Will Patterson forced him out. Another drive for Iowa that will begin in Indiana territory when we come back with the Hawkeyes leading 3-0 early going. Mirrors right after the game, only on the Big Ten Network. Iowa leading 3-0, first down at the Indiana 34-yard line. That's Brodell in motion, Stanzi at quarterback. And Sean Green trying to get around the left end. Down to the 30-yard line on a gain of 4. Back to Chicago in the studio. Dave Revson with this update. Dave? Send that young man some oxygen. Wow. 100 yards. My goodness. Here comes Sean Green once again. Inside of the 25. Close to the first down near the 24-yard line. And a late flag thrown on that play. A late flag is down. Let's get the call here. Bill LeMonnier talking with his crew. Very late, Chris. I'm not sure if somebody may have jumped in late on that play. And sometimes an offensive lineman will come by and try to clean off the pile.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's a nervousness on both sides that we've seen. Keep in mind, Iowa is the most penalized team. Excuse me, Indiana's the most penalized.
Following the first down. Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 15 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Play results 1st and 10.
On the wide receiver.
1st and 10 following the penalty.
On the wide receiver, Johnson Koulianos, but of course they assessed the personal foul penalty. Now it'll be 1st down from the 39 instead of inside the 20. Let's get down to Anthony Herron. Anthony?
Well, Wayne, for a lot of those Big Ten fans trying to figure out why they haven't heard of Shawn Green in his junior year, this talented back, he actually was not with the Iowa football team last season, had some academic issues and had to go to Kirkwood Community College to get his academics straightened out. And then this past summer, he worked with Iowa strength and conditioning coach Chris Doyle to try to get himself back in football shape. I think 6 games into the season, it's safe to say that Shawn Green has found his way.
Andy Brodell inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Goodness. Stanzi on the rollout, 35 yards to Brodell, and it's 1st and goal.
Well, that's an excellent play call. And as Anthony was talking about Green, you're going to see, well, actually it's Hampton. Watch the fake. And the whole line slide down, and you're seeing arm street right there by Ricky Stanzi. Good job of going up and getting the ball high point by Brodell. But again, that all starts up front. Indiana committing to stop the run. That leaves the secondary exposed.
3rd time they've gone after Richard Council. He was equal to the task the first 2 times, not that time. 1st down off the 35-yard gain. Once again, Iowa in the red zone. Coming right at him. That's Hampton down to the 1-yard line. Jewel Hampton, the freshman running back out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Warrant Central High School. Matt Mayberry made the stop for the Hoosiers. Gain of 4.
Not that they don't have confidence in the youngster, but I wonder why Shawn Green wouldn't be in the game. Down here on the goal line, he's the most physical running back in the Big Ten. I'm quite surprised why he's standing on the sideline.
Hampton, the tail of the tandem, Iowa on 2nd down and goal. Reisner in motion. Straight ahead, Hampton's in the end zone. Jewel Hampton with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season, and the Hawkeyes lead it 9-0.
Well, whether it's Green, whether it's Hampton, you have to be physical at the point of attack. Watch this great surge. Nice pull block by Seth Olson to lead the way for Hampton. Great pull. He fills on the linebacker, Will Patterson. Excellent job of Hampton punching it in for a touchdown.
Point after try now by Trent Mossbrucker. And the kick is right down the boulevard. So the Iowa Hawkeyes start 2 drives in Indiana territory on their first 3 possessions of the game. They've got a 10-0 lead early going in Bloomington. Interested onlooker Ted Marchibroda. Fans around here might know him as the former coach of the Colts. And they would certainly know this next man in this Cincinnati Reds hat. That's Bob Sanders, Iowa alum.
Yeah.
Safety of the Indianapolis Colts.
The best safety in the NFL. I'm sure Iowa would like to have him on the field today. Stop Kellen Lewis.
You know, when he was at Iowa, people said, well, he's just too small to play, college football, and yet he was a force right from the beginning. Here's the kickoff. Indiana in need of a spark. Marcus Thigpen. And that's not going to spark them. Short of the 20-yard line. Iowa's been very sound on kick coverage thus far. Leading the way, Tyler Nielsen. Also there was James Vandenberg. 17-yard return. And a Hoosier offense, Chris, that has been sputtering for the most part. They did put 20 points up on the board against Michigan State, but in 2 of the last 3 games, they've been really held in check.
Well, I think anemic would be a good term. I mean, and it starts with Kellen Lewis. You know, this season, he's just not seemed to click with his wide receivers.
1st and 10. Cutting it back, Demetrius McCray. They'll run 3 running backs if you haven't seen Indiana before. Thigpen, Brian Payton, and Demetrius McCray. And they all get about the same amount of carries per game.
Well, they're different types of backs. McCray's a very talented young back, though.
Be sure to watch the Big Ten Football Saturday postgame show presented by Hotels.com. It's your source for highlights and analysis for all of today's Big Ten action. Tonight at a special time now. That's 7:30 Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Quick toss, Terrence Turner. excellent tackle made in the open field by Spivey, the quarterback, but it's enough for the first down, and that moves the chains and a start for Indiana.
Yeah, excellent catch, and then also an excellent play call. And you can tell that Matt Canada is trying to get Kellen Lewis comfortable in the pocket, although now Ben Chappell goes to quarterback.
Kellen Lewis is in the slot, top of your screen. And on the ground, Chappell gets what he can, and that's about 4 yards out to the 34-yard line. Over to make the tackle for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Broderick Binns. They're going to, this is a hot day here in Indiana, and on that turf, they're going to be rotating a lot of defensive linemen.
Well, you said 4 yards, and that's exactly what they want for Indiana. They don't expect him to make plays with his legs like Kellen Lewis, but if he can push the ball forward and get the tough yardage, that's exactly how they want to set up the play.
Lewis back at quarterback. McCray looking for running room. Boy, he looked to the outside, looked to the inside, and got nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Very solid defense by Iowa across the front. Angerer and Eads, 2 linebackers leading the way.
Oh, I laugh, but when you study Iowa on tape, they're so physical at the point of attack. They love to gang tackle and fly to the ball. They don't make mistakes, and they don't hide what they do. You know exactly what's coming at you, but it's still hard to be effective against them. Kellen Lewis finding himself having to be patient.
And Mitch King was in the middle of that fray as well. Quick toss, open receiver, they've got him. First down, it's Ray Fisher across the midfield marker, and Indiana's in enemy territory for the first time today. 16-yard gain to the Hawkeye 48.
You see, this is a zone defense cover too, so it's vulnerable to corner routes. Kellen Lewis does a good job of letting that route develop by Fisher and putting the ball in the numbers.
Indiana going quickly. And there's the bubble screen. This time they work it to Mitchell Evans, who came to school as a quarterback. He's a defensive back. He's a wide receiver. You'll see him in a variety of positions, and that's a gain of about 8 yards. One of those kids that comes into school, and he's such a good athlete, they don't know where to play. They'd like to play him everywhere, but it's not possible. You got to play him somewhere. Lewis back of the shotgun. Indiana trying to get some rhythm going, and Lewis takes it himself. Kellen Lewis hit by King and Kroll, the tandem of defensive tackles. And I believe he's got just enough for the first down. Very close to it at the 37-yard line of Iowa. First down for Indiana.
Back to Kellen Lewis. I think people are waiting to see the magic from Lewis. You know, last season against Iowa, he made all kinds of crazy plays with his legs running around. I think people are holding their breath, waiting to see him break out.
First and 10. Mitch King reached across the line, but he didn't snap the ball, so he gets back, and all is cool with the play so far. Payton, well, just nowhere to go. Been out in front of that play, and then Kroll, the defensive tackle, makes the hit. Gain of 1.5 yards barely.
Well, it starts with that front 4 for Iowa. They scrape and flow to the football. Coach Ferentz likes what he sees so far. These guys anchoring down up front and stopping the run.
Iowa is second to the Big Ten in rush defense, giving up less than 100 yards per game. Second down at 8. Payton again, hit behind the line by Kroll, stacked up and thrown down.
27, Payton on the carry, tackle made by number 53.
Goodness.
Well, this is a good defensive play, but if you're an Indiana offensive lineman, you should take offense to this. I mean, he's not doing anything but just running to the football. When you got backs making moves 3 yards in the backfield, now these are great football players up front, but it's easy to do when you just move out the way.
Kroll beat the redshirt freshman out of Indianapolis, Andrew McDonald, or so it appeared from that replay. Again, that Indiana interior line restructured on the left side, and at center, Lewis stepping up. Kellen Lewis inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. And Lewis on a gain of about 7 or 8 yards. Lance Tillison got over to make the stop for the Hawkeyes.
Iowa does a good job in the zone. Nothing there. Kellen Lewis wisely pulls the ball in, tries to get what he can, set up a field goal situation.
You know, when they restructure that line again, Alex Perry dinged up a little bit with an ankle, but not starting. Pete Saxon moves over from guard to center. They move McDonald in from tackle to guard. And against that Iowa front, the interior, the Iowa folks have had the better of it. This is 4th down and a field goal opportunity now for Austin Starr. 45-yard, make it 46-yard field goal attempt. High snap, placement is there. Kick to the uprights, and it hits the upright and bounds in. Benefit of the bounce for the senior Austin Starr, and Indiana is on the board on a 46-yard field goal. Starr breathes a sigh of relief. First quarter, 2 teams struggling along, trying to snap 3-game losing streaks. Iowa leads it by 7. And you saw the high snap on that field goal try, and Dustin Haas did a good job to get that ball down for Austin Starr, who got the benefit of the bounce off the pipe on the right side of the goalpost. Goodness, that's an 11-play, 52-yard drive. But finally, Indiana able to catch a little rhythm offensively there, Chris, and they trail now by 7.
All right, and you hope that spills over to the defense. See if they can get their hands on some balls. Talk to the co-coordinators. They need to get some turnovers.
Stars kick off again, line drive type fashion. And this is Darrell Johnson Koulianos across the 20-25, gets out near the 28-yard line. Tackle made by Justin Carrington, a linebacker. The Advance Auto Parts road to the championship standings, and it's beginning to take shape like this. Penn State in conference play undefeated along with Michigan State. Big game with Northwestern today. And Minnesota much improved. Illinois in a battle today. Michigan playing non-conference, and then Purdue, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Indiana. Both of these teams looking for their first conference win of the season. 1st and 10 Hawkeyes at their 28. Stanzi on the roll out, trying to hit Brodell, double covered. That time they brought Polk over the top to help out Council on the coverage across the 50.
Well, they did. They're sitting in cover 2, so you know you have deep safeties trying to take away the corner route. And what we've seen from Iowa is you tell they're rolling out Stanzi. And why are they doing that? Because they know they got bookends on each side that like to get up the field. So you got to kind of move them around.
The note on this particular graphic you see right here is that the 2 Indiana scoring drives began, or the 2 Iowa scoring drives began in Indiana territory.
Shorten the field. 2nd
down and 10. Stanzi was tripped by one of his linemen and able to hold on to it. He was trying to hand it off to Sean Green. That was one of those cases where the guard steps on the foot of the quarterback. Or did he? No, he didn't. He just tripped on his footwork.
You know, and it looks innocuous by the play, but these are the reasons that you're 0-2 in the conference. And Iowa, you know, they're 9 points away from being a much different team in terms of their wins and loss column. And Coach Ferentz knows that. It comes down to executing. Even a simple play like that, you got to stay on your feet.
Now, Chris, it's 3rd and long. 3rd and 14 again for Iowa. They're 0 for 2 on 3rd downs here today.
Where Indiana wants them.
Green trying to get the edge. And the Hoosiers flow to the football. Gain of yardage out to the 31. That's a pickup of 7. They needed a lot more than that.
Well, if Iowa gets into 3rd and 2 type situations, you know Sean Green can convert those, particularly when he gets his shoulders square. But when you get him behind the chains, and now he has 9 and 10 yards to go, you have a much better chance of stopping him.
Curlew made the tackle. Sean Green heads off fairly slowly. They're limping a little bit. He missed some plays down on the goal line, too, and I wonder if he was dinged up earlier in the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of eyes that's going to go to him on the sideline.
Fisher back deep to retrieve this punt from Ryan Donahue out of Evergreen Park, Illinois. St. Rita High School, one of the great high school programs in Illinois. And again, a good-looking punt here. Fisher back inside his 15 at the 10. And nowhere to go. Excellent coverage once again for the Iowa Hawkeyes, led by Bradley Fletcher, the starting quarterback. 55-yard punt, just a 2-yard return.
And A.J. Ed's getting down the field. I love it when I see starters on the defense on special teams and flying around making plays, being active. Ed's one of the leaders of that defense. Once again, Indiana backed up. Kellen Lewis trying to work his magic.
Indiana starting this drive at their 13-yard line. We've got a 5-receiver set. Lewis alone in the shotgun. Penalty markers down. It looked like McDonald, the left guard, got an early start.
Yeah, pretty much the whole left side.
Prior to the snap, false start, 72 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And that was the case. Now, again, partner, what you're talking about here are two all Big Ten caliber tackles, Kroll and King for Iowa up front against a restructured interior of the Indiana offensive line, and you saw the infraction right there.
Well, absolutely, and there's such a concern to get to the defensive front for Iowa. So sometimes as a lineman, you get a little edgy.
1st and 15. Lewis through the hands of Fisher, incomplete. Fisher wasn't going far. He had Spivey staring at him in the flat there, along with Jeremiah Hutter, the linebacker. So it's 2nd and 15, and the football back at the Indiana 8-yard line. This is a team in desperate need of a big play spark, Chris, but this is an Iowa defense that has only given up one play of 40 yards or more.
Well, they don't give up deep balls. They keep everything in front of them.
Big Ben nowhere to go. Boy, did they breathe that well. Great penetration. Christian Ballard made the tackle. Back to Dave Revson for an update.
Okay, Wayne, we showed you Toledo took.
Thank you, Dave. 3rd down for Indiana. 3rd and long. Football back at the 5-yard line.
And this is where you need a go-to receiver like they had Hardy a season ago.
3rd and 18. And they go to Peyton. Blasting around the right end across the 10. Nice run out to the 11. Gain of 6. Far short of the first down.
No, and that's not going to get it done. Indiana's averaging 200 yards on the ground, but so far in this game, they had a total of 18 yards. Iowa stuffing the run.
Anthony Herron, what do you have on Sean Green?
Well, here on the Iowa sideline, I've seen Sean Green on the bike. I've seen him getting some fluids, but they continue to say that they have nothing medical to report about the health of Sean Green, who was back in the game on that last series. But as you guys noticed, he was limping when he came off the field, so I'll definitely keep you updated on what we see.
Auger up a line drive punt. Brodell takes it to the 49 of Indiana, and he's got yardage down to the 43 of the Hoosiers. Big hit, but nonetheless, Iowa will begin its 3rd consecutive drive in Indiana territory. Just a 38-yard punt. We've got a break. We'll be back. Of Indiana University. Wayne Larrivee along with Chris Martin, Anthony Herron on hand on the sidelines. Start of the 2nd quarter. Iowa for the 3rd time, 3rd consecutive drive that begins in Hoosier territory. First down at the Indiana 44. Stanzi on the handoff to Green. Pile driving up the middle for a yard. In that first quarter, Iowa just 19 rushing yards. Indiana 21. Total yardage 54 for the Hawkeyes, 56 for Indiana. The difference being, Chris, really field position. I mean, Iowa played on a much shorter field than Indiana did.
Well, no doubt about it. Credit that defense. But this is where you want Indiana's front line to really dig in. We talked about Curlew and Middleton. Those guys got to play tough up front.
The numbers I just spoke of on the screen there for you. 2nd down. That's Brodell in motion. Stanzi's looked his way a couple of times today. Here comes Green. Forced to the outside. Brown unable to make the tackle. Green, as a result, gets inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. And a gain of 7 yards.
Wayne, this is a good run by Green, but if you're Indiana, this is what you want. You want him to go laterally. Make him go sideways, because once he gets his shoulders squared up to the line of scrimmage, then he's tough to bring down.
Greg Brown's got to make that hit, that play. He had gotten himself into the offensive backfield, and he knows it. Good young defensive tackle, 5th-year center out of Centerville, Ohio. 3rd down now for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Manageable, though. Manageable 3rd down situation.
One of the shorter ones. They've had 3rd and 3 today. And they go to Green, and he explodes up the middle inside the 30 with a first down near the 28-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle made by Will Patterson, it appeared.
And he continues to limp around, Sean Green.
More so with each play.
Yeah, nice cut by him. And he gets those shoulders down, but clearly he gets up hobbling a bit.
Chris, he had some daylight ahead of him. Had Patterson not been able to get there in time, and maybe Green gets through that hole had he not been a little dinged up here. Remember, Green has rushed for over 100 yards in all 6 of Iowa's games this year. 16 yards on this drive are all Sean Green's, who's on the sideline. Hampton is in a tailback. Stanzi keeps it on the ground. Hampton looking for running room. Polk comes up from the secondary, makes the hit. Polk and Geno Johnson collaborate on the tackle. Virtually no gain. Get jacked up, Big Ten fans, with our Big Ten Sports Top, featuring live interactive sportscasts for all Big Ten games. Get real-time stats, photos, chat, and more for all of today's Big Ten football action. There's no other real-time sports experience like it on the web today. It's everything a Big Ten fan could want. Go to BigTenNetwork.com/sportstop right now. 2nd down and 10. Hawkeyes at the Indiana 28. Stanzi as an open receiver, juggling catch for the catch made nonetheless by Brett Morse, who returned from a sprained ankle. He missed the last 2 weeks, and he gets his 3rd reception of the season, first of the game, gain of about 5 yards.
Yeah, every now and then you got to throw your fullback a bone, and that time the masher gets out in space in the flats. Shows some athleticism though to go up and get it.
Yeah, nice catch.
Yeah.
Mark it as a gain of 4, and it is 3rd down for Iowa.
Getting down near the red zone, which is where Iowa has struggled in most recent weeks.
3 receivers set for the Hawkeyes. Stanzi in the shotgun. That's Green alongside. Everybody out for a pass. Nice throw. Good catch made by the big tight end Brandon Myers, a senior out of Prairie City, Iowa, who's come on this year to be the Hawkeyes' 3rd leading receiver. He's got first down yardage on a gain of 12. Chris Atkins, the cornerback, on the tackle at the Indiana 12-yard line.
And Ricky Stanzi's very comfortable with giving the ball to Myers. He knows exactly where he's going to be. He does a little option route, forces outside off the linebacker. Good job, Brandon Myers, creating a big pocket for his quarterback.
Iowa leading by 7, looking for more. First down now. The Hawkeyes again inside the red zone, this time to the 12-yard line. Here comes Green to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone. Touchdown. Went right through the alley off the right side of the offensive line. 12-yard touchdown run. And Iowa leads it 16-3.
Sean Green saying, what ankle? You give me the rock outside, and I get behind my big hogs and get my shoulder squared, nobody's touching him. I don't think he'd been down in tag football. Nick Polk gets him once he's in the end zone, but again, nice blocking up front. You get a kick out on Mirando. Touchdown, Iowa.
Sean Green on the touchdown run of 12 yards, his 6th touchdown run of the season, and the extra point is up and good. So the Iowa Hawkeyes motor to their 2nd touchdown drive of the game. They now lead by 14, biggest lead either way, with 11:08 to go, 2nd quarter. Sean Green has limped after plays, but when he's handed the football, he springs to life. And there's no sign of a limp. 12-yard touchdown run by Green caps a 7-play, 44-yard drive for the Hawkeyes. All 3 of their scoring drives have begun in Indiana territory. Getting set to boot it away, Daniel Murray, sophomore out of Iowa City, Iowa. Twin safeties back deep for Indiana. Thigpen, the principal return man. They're trying to pin Thigpen back deep out of the end zone. He's told to stay there with it. Oh, he almost stepped on that line, and he would have been forced to return, but it'll be first down for the Hoosiers coming out at the 20-yard line. Now for Nissan's What It Takes to Get There this week, we focus on number 2, Marcus Thigpen of Indiana. Last 3 touchdowns, and we talked about explosion plays. That's what he specializes in. 77 yards through the air, 79 through the air, and a 78-yard touchdown run.
Well, now would be the time to get another, to get his 4th. He could go for over 80. But he is a big play back, straight line, great speed. We need to get him infused into this offense.
This is an offense that has been sputtering for the most part the last 3 weeks. Nothing there. Boy, Mitch King, it's almost like King and Kroll are not blocked on these plays, Chris. I mean, they are over the line that quickly. They're playing the game on Indiana's side of the line of scrimmage.
You're exactly right. The running backs are making moves 3 yards in the backfield. Mitch King, he plays with an intense motor. He plays with great leverage. And they're just whooping Indiana up front.
Lewis shifts into the shotgun. He's got a 5-receiver set. 2 at the top of your screen, 3 at the bottom on 2nd and 10. And that's Andrew Means, who makes a lunging grab out near the 25-yard line. Means was a big play receiver early this season, but in the last 2 games, just 3 receptions, 30 yards for Andrew Means. Pick up a 5, 3rd and 5. Same formation offensively for the Hoosiers. Low snap. Lewis able to collect. Means, is he denied that first down? They're going to mark him just short. Good sure tackle made by Jeremiah Hunter. And Amari Spivey was there as well.
Well, and that's exactly what Iowa does. They let you catch balls in front of them, but then they get there and wrap up. This is great transition by Spivey to get out of his back pedal and get Means on the ground, short of the sticks.
Spivey was the principal defender on that play. So Indiana came in struggling a bit of late on 3rd downs. 30.8%. They're last in the conference in 3rd downs and have not been able to convert much here today.
And I think their defense has not gotten as much props as they should have. I mean, you have 3 losses, but this is a great defense, and we're seeing it.
Line drive kick, but a deep one. Off the hands of Brodell, retrieves back to the 5 and is gunned down by Turner at the 6. Make that Fisher on the tackle. 66-yard punt. Goodness. So Iowa will start with its worst field position to begin a drive here this afternoon, but the Hawkeyes lead it by 14, 17-3. Come back to Indiana. The Iowa Hawkeyes, the Indiana Hoosiers, along with Anthony Herron, Chris Martin, Wayne Larrivee. Iowa and Indiana doing battle for the 70th time in this series. We're at the Rock. Defending the Rock. Well, the Hoosiers have struggled to do that the last couple of times on this field. And they're trailing here against the Iowa Hawkeyes, who start 1st and 10 at the Iowa 6-yard line. Sean Green. Penalty markers down, probably for a hold offensively. Green getting about 4 yards out to the 10-yard line. Good pursuit by the Hoosier defense. Bill Lamonier will make the call.
Offside. Defense. Number 62. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Goodness. When it goes bad, it goes bad. Liberty Mutual alumni spotlight for Indiana. Mark Spitz, remember him, the Olympic swimming champion. And then, of course, another of the great alumni, Sean McKeel. I didn't realize he went here. He's a 2003 PGA champion and is a professional golfer, obviously. Sean McKeel. That's some good golf here, Chris. We should have brought our clubs, man. This would have been a great weekend to tee it up. 1st down again for the Hawkeyes. Sean Green up the middle, plowing forward, and it looks like he's got a 1st down across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Over to make the tackle for the Hoosiers, Deontay Mack, along with Darius Johnson.
And Wayne, this is vintage Iowa. They want to control the clock, run downhill with Sean Green, be physical up front. And this was the concern for Indiana. Can they play stout in the interior inside? And can they match the physicality of Iowa? And so far, they've struggled up front.
And again, last week, Indiana defensively played very well for the most part at Minnesota. However, they were unable to get off the field. You know, that's the thing. And the offense only had 48 plays, while the Gophers had 68 plays in that game. Stanzi going over the top, got a man open, overshot him, incomplete. Brandon Myers, the tight end, at 6'4", 250, and he threw it over his head. Anthony Herron's on the Indiana sidelines. Anthony, what's the atmosphere like that down there?
Well, the mood on the Indiana sideline is actually still extremely upbeat. They feel like they've been able to get Iowa in a few of those 3rd down situations. Weren't quite able to get off the field a couple of times. But on offense, they said that Kellen Lewis, he's got to be able to find those creases. So the coaching staff feels good about where they're at right now.
Although they are down 17-3, Iowa's 2nd and 10 to the Hawkeyes 16. Brodell is at the top of your screen. Johnson Koulianos out of the ball game, and so Strauss is at the bottom of your screen, and now Brodell comes in motion, but they're going to Sean Green up the middle, and Tyler Raplogle, the linebacker, helped to blow up that play. Hit on that tackle for Indiana, gain of about 3 yards to the 19.
Job by co-defensive coordinators Palcic and Georgia, rolling down their safeties. Now these guys are cheating up. It's usually when you get into play action pass.
Well, Chris,
They know they have to commit to stopping this running
I
attack.
think coming into the game, job one was stop the run, force the game into Ricky Stanzi's hands, and they feel pretty good about that if they can do that. And we're talking from the Indiana standpoint now. There's the third down conversions for Iowa. You just saw it a moment ago.
Exactly.
Ninth in the Big Ten.
In Wayne, where he's been tripped up is in 3rd and 6 or more. He's really struggled in converting.
Penalty markers down. Pre-snap penalty.
Delay game. Charge to the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You know, you just get the feeling watching Iowa the last couple of weeks that they're going through the growing pains of a young quarterback.
Yeah, and really a young team. I mean, we talk about inexperience, but Coach Ferentz, as we said, you know, we talked to him and he said, look, the guys are playing hard and relentless, which is what you want and what you teach, but they're just not executing, and at times they continue to stub their toe.
So 3rd down and about 13. There is Ken O'Keefe, the offensive coordinator of the Hawkeyes. Stanzi, plenty of time. Got a man over the middle. Oh, and what a hit absorbed by Brodell. He was hammered on the play, but he's got the first down across the 26-yard line. Goodness, he was really tagged, it appeared, by Justin Carrington.
Now, I'm a defensive back, but give Brodell his props. You want to see the definition of toughness? How about going over the middle when you know you're going to take a shot and hold on to the football? Courageous by Brodell. Knew his team had to have it. Way to convert.
So it's a first down off a gain of 13 at the 27-yard line of Iowa. Sandeman, the man in motion, the wide receiver. They're going the other way to Green. Green, nice cutback there. Got what he could, and that was a sizable gain of 5 yards out to the 32-yard line. Darius Johnson made the tackle for Indiana.
It's amazing to me how Iowa can control the tempo and the clock. You know, one of the hardest things to do is stop Kellen Lewis. Well, you can do it if he's on the sideline. And so they continue to methodically work their way down the field, trying to keep themselves in manageable 3rd down situations in heavy doses of Sean Green.
And Chris, as I mentioned, that was basically the formula for Minnesota a week ago. Just keep that Indiana offense off the field, and that's what they did. 2nd down for the Hawkeyes. Green had a nice hole for a moment, but then Austin Thomas, the safety, got over to make a hit. Gain of a couple of more yards out to the 35. And it'll be 3rd down coming up. Anthony Herron, what do you have for us?
Well, Chris Wayne, you know I've been on the D-line my entire football career playing, and Indiana's doing a very nice job rotating their guys up front, but the physicality that Iowa's been able to lean on them offensively, I think that's going to continue to play a role. With these 3rd downs, they're not really getting after the quarterback like those ends are used to.
Yeah, you're right, and they haven't had a lot of pass rush pressure, and plus the heat down there, Anthony, I would imagine is a big factor.
And watch for attrition plays with Sean Green. Once they continue to get tired up, watch his yards after initial contact.
3rd and 2 for Iowa at the Hawkeye 35. Up the middle, the first down and more, and that is Jewel Hampton across the 45 out near the midfield marker. 14-yard gain. They're going to mark it just inside Hoosier territory. Austin Thomas in the deep secondary on the tackle.
Well, again, nothing sexy. This is just power football. Get your shoulders down. Missed tackle there. Indiana trying to get him on the ground.
And Chris, that was a great view of how the offensive line just moved people out of the way.
Yeah.
Hampton, who has good quickness, made the move right through the hole. Power runner, finishes hard.
Great zone scheme up front.
1st and 10. Again, this drive began deep in Iowa territory, their worst field position to begin the drive. Stanzi on the rollout, hit by Mirando, throws it out of bounds. They had Mirando coming as a keep play with the quarterback rolling to the right side, basically alone, and then Mirando played it well from his defensive end position and knocked down the quarterback and forced the errant pass. 2nd and 10 coming up. Hey, Big Ten Tonight is your ultimate source for all things Big Ten, including highlights, analysis of all of today's football action, interviews, and much more. Big Ten Tonight, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 Central, only on the Big Ten Network.
Partner, what's been interesting to me is that these defensive ends for Indiana haven't been getting close to Ricky Stanzi. And Iowa gives up some sacks. I think this game a season ago, they gave up over 5. So keep an eye on Indiana's defensive ends, particularly in passing situations.
9 sacks a year ago by the Hoosiers in this matchup with Iowa. Play action, Stanzi now being flushed and takes the sack back inside the 40-yard line. Big play there for the Indiana defense. Curlew got there along with Mirando, the 2 defensive ends meeting at the quarterback.
Well, in this Murphy's Law, we talk about the defensive end. The ends just get up the field. And you talk about pressure, getting there to the quarterback. He holds on to the football. Good job of converging up front. Indiana, when they had to get a sack, finally their defensive line wakes up.
Loss of 10 on the play, back to the 40-yard line. 3rd and 20 for Iowa. Time winding down to the play clock. Will Stanzi get it off in time? Just in time. Sean Green needs 20. Got about 8. Out across the 45. And so it'll be 4th down for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So time-consuming long drive that began deep in Iowa territory. But the big sack on 2nd down turned the tide, and now the Hawkeyes forced to punt it away. Ray Fisher dropping back deep for Indiana. Ryan Donahue, the sophomore, on punt formation. He's had a good day already today. A couple of 50-plus yard punts. Iowa running the clock as long as they can. They lead by 14. We're inside of 3 minutes to go in this first half. Good leverage into this punt. Fisher waving everybody off. It takes a sideways carom. And we'll be down by the Hawkeyes near the Indiana 11. 38-yard punt, no return. Hawkeyes playing on the lead. A year ago at this time, it was 21-0 Indiana. This year, it's 17-3 Iowa. Looking to enhance your game day experience? Presenting the Rotel Ultimate Tailgate Package Sweepstakes. You can win an incredible grand prize package featuring a grill, barbecue set, delicious Rotel products, and everything else you'll need to support your team or other great weekly prizes. To enter, log on to Big10Network.com and fill out an entry form. Wayne Larrivee, Chris Martin, Anthony Herron at Indiana. Hoosiers start this drive deep in their own territory. And it is Kellen Lewis off the play action, getting the end. Out across the 15 to the 18-yard line. Coming up at halftime, it is the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime show. Dave Repson, Howard Griffith, and Jerry DiNardo up to the minute scores and highlights, and a look at the second half. That last Iowa drive began on the Iowa 6-yard line, went out to the Indiana 47 before the big sack. 47 yards on the drive, 9 plays, 6 minutes, 47 seconds time of possession in the second quarter for the Hawkeyes. So although they punted the football, Chris, playing on the lead as they are, they basically kept Indiana's offense off the field, and now the Hoosiers just 2:19 left to go.
Well, that's how they're built, and that's exactly what they do. In terms of time of possession, they've had the ball for over 17 minutes. Indiana only 10 minutes. So
discussion on the field was regarding the player out of bounds. Over 2-minute mark, it is a clock wipe.
Bill Lamonier letting everyone know what the discussion was about. We appreciate that. We always like to be in the know. Second down for Lewis. 2nd and 2 off the gain of 8.
Look at the defense, how close they are to the line of scrimmage. Look at the linebackers stacking.
With 2 safeties deep. Now Lewis trying to get around the end. Pat Angerer makes the tackle, but not before Lewis has about 4 yards to the 23-yard line for a first down. Clock continues to run. Again, Indiana, both Indiana and Iowa each have 3 timeouts remaining.
Iowa is continuing to impress me, though, with how well they play against the run.
Lewis being chased. Gets it away to Brandon Walker-Roby, trying to get out of bounds, and he does. Across the 25 and the 26-yard line. It's a gain of a couple of yards, but does get the clock stopped with 1:45 to go. This is the point in the field offensively, Chris, where you're looking for a play to kind of ignite you on a drive like this in the last 2 minutes.
And particularly down the field. But this is a defense that, again, they don't give up balls over their head. They keep everything in front. What they do, they play extremely well, and they wrap up and tackle. So you have to be patient before you take your shots.
Lewis being flushed again. Trying to get it to Means, knocked down beautifully. Boy, that was a great play made over the top by Bradley Fletcher to deny Andrew Means a reception up near the first down marker, the 34.
Well, he couldn't have played that route any better. The timing was perfect. Had to have it. Does a good job using the right arm to get a PBU pass breakup.
Once again, third down, 3rd and 7 for Indiana. 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions for the Hoosiers today, and a timeout call.
Timeout. Indiana, first team timeout.
Minute 40 to go. And the Hoosiers just looking for something offensively to ignite them. And you get that feeling watching them over these last several weeks. You know, they had that one big play at Minnesota, 77-yard pass play from Chapel to Thigpen. They've had nothing close to a big play offensively here today.
Well, I think there are a couple of things that jump out over the last 2 weeks about Indiana. First off, we talked about their run game where we see Thigpen step up. I think they're still trying to develop a wide receiver, a go-to guy down the field who can stretch a defense. Well, maybe it's Means, but he's been hobbled a bit. Ray Fisher, he's dropped a couple balls. So I think Indiana is in desperate need right now of finding a big play wide receiver in order to get production. And then I also think that Kellen Lewis has to play better and step up and make plays. We've talked about how he's owned Iowa. So far, they put a fence around him, keeping him intact.
3rd down for the Hoosiers, who've had just one play of over 8 yards in this ball game here today. Lewis has time. Now being flushed, throws it back against the grain, got a first down. Ray make that Terrence Turner latching on up near the 40-yard line. 13-yard gain. That was an excellent throw by Lewis.
Yeah, a little escapability, throwing back against his body. Nice conversion.
Lewis, Walker Roby, unable to get out of bounds. Pat Angerer able to get him down in play at the 42-yard line, gain of a couple of yards. And the clock continues to wind. Nearing a minute left to be played in this second quarter. Indiana, the 5 receiver set, 3 to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. Lewis to Means, ducks out of bounds with a first down at the Iowa 49-yard line. 57 seconds to go.
Means has been the go-to guy, probably the best pure hands on the team. Saw him catch it clean. Indiana's picking up the tempo and the rhythm.
Means, you see him there, number 13, has been has had a chronic knee problem, a bursa sac problem. It's a painful injury and one that doesn't go away very easily on his left knee. 1st and 10. Means open over the middle. First down at the Iowa 35-yard line, and either the Hoosiers going to have to take a timeout here or get up to the line of scrimmage and spike the ball.
Well, watch how he goes up and high points this football. You talk about snaring the ball, hands, nobody there.
Under a minute to go. They get up to the line of scrimmage. They'll have time as they stop the clock on the first down make. And Lewis cutting it back. Kellen Lewis for a first down to the 24-yard line, gain of 11 yards. So back-to-back double-digit gains for Indiana. And the Hoosiers motor close to the red zone at the Iowa 24.
And beautiful vision and cutback ability by Kellen Lewis. He had nothing going left. Able to find it and cut back.
And Lewis shaken up off that last run, and he has to come out, so Ben Chappell will go in. Injured Hawkeye down to the field as well. We'll check on the health of all concerned. But this is distressing. Lewis limping off for the Hoosiers. We'll be back.
They fire the coals with precision, mixing sauces.
Back at Indiana, Lewis apparently just had a cramp. He was able to walk it off. And everybody else taken care of as well. First down for Indiana now. We wind down this first half. Quick toss. Terrence Turner inside the 20, 17-yard line of Iowa. Forced out of bounds by Spivey, the cornerback. And it's a gain of 7 yards.
Talk about getting some momentum going into halftime. Critical drive once again to remind you, Iowa leads the conference in red zone defense.
35 seconds to go. Indiana, 2 timeouts remaining. Lewis, open receiver. Touchdown! Oh, what a throw by Kellen Lewis. 17 yards to Ray Fisher.
Absolutely. Cover 2, Iowa, deep safeties. Fisher does an excellent job of pushing that route out to the corner. Even better throw by Kellen Lewis. Watch me, he's in the slot, gets up on the safety. You talk about ball placement, outside shoulder. Excellent job. Lets the route develop. There it is, right at the corner.
Ray Fisher with his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. Stars extra point is no good.
Well, that's not what the doctor ordered.
Whoa. You don't expect that from a Lou Groza candidate. Oh my goodness. So Austin Starr off the mark on the point after, and it's 17-9 Iowa over Indiana.
Looks like he just pushes it.
Yep, he just pushed it. So it's 17-9 Iowa with 30 seconds to go in this first half, but finally Indiana put together a drive. 11 plays, 89 yards, and for the first time this afternoon, you got the feeling that Lewis in that offense gained some rhythm.
Well, gain rhythm and also gain confidence when you're able to engineer long drives. They work some out routes. He was able to gash him on some draw plays, an option. And then, of course, he was able to find his guy, Ray Fisher, on a corner route. Keep in mind, Iowa's defense, you know they play tough. They get to the football. They don't give up big plays. That's an excellent play right there, though, by Indiana. It's a very stalwart defense.
11 plays, 89 yards. Didn't take long. Star squib kicks it. Taken by one of the upbacks. And that's the backup fullback, Wade Leopard. About a 12-yard return just across the 35 to the 36 of Iowa.
I mentioned that Kellen Lewis had 4 touchdown passes in 5 games coming into this game, so that's got to be a shot of confidence to him that he's able to have some success and develop, as you said, that rhythm with his wide receiver.
All right, now Iowa's got 3 timeouts left, 24 seconds remaining. If you're Ken O'Keefe and the Iowa offense, you got this young quarterback out there, how risky do you get at this stage?
No, you stall it. You don't try and do anything too risky right now.
Stanzi looking to the air. Curlew hit him as he let it go. Completion made to Green. Well defended on all ends by Indiana. Atkins made the tackle on the running back.
Young quarterback, I wouldn't even be putting the ball in the air. You got Sean Green back there. 17 seconds.
Well, you got a young quarterback, loss of 2 on that play. You got a young quarterback, Chris, and turnovers have been a problem the last couple of games.
Absolutely. And so why not do the short pass or simple handoff to Sean Green to milk the clock? I bet he'll come back to it.
Green in the offensive backfield. And here it is. Sean Green trying to get around the end. And gets across the 35, out near the 38-yard line on a gain of 4 yards. And the Hawkeyes will take 3 timeouts with them into the dressing room. But they also take a 17-9 lead over Indiana at the end of 1 half in Bloomington.
Buckle up your seatbelt, though. This is buckle up your seatbelt.
Buckle up your seatbelt time in the second half for both squads. They have had problems hanging on to leads. We'll see. The studio guys coming up next.
So here we are.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, where the Iowa Hawkeyes enjoy a 17-9 lead over the Indiana Hoosiers as we approach the third quarter. When you take a look at the first half of play, Chris, I think we saw both teams and the reason for concern for both. The warts were there to be seen both ways.
Well, you talk physicality, but to me, Iowa's defense has dominated, and they've really reestablished the line of scrimmage. You'll see Mitch King, just a disruptive force. Kevin Lewis, the Indiana running backs, they had to make a number of moves in the backfield because the penetration of Iowa up front, again, a banged-up offensive line for Indiana, has really struggled at the point of attack. Iowa doing what it does best, stopping the run, holding Indiana to 46 yards on the ground.
First half stats are brought to you by High Performance Mycogen brand grain corn hybrids. Pretty even across the board with the exception of the scoreboard, and that time of possession is out there pretty strong.
And then I think the one thing, Iowa is actually finishing drives in the red zone. And they're 3 for 3, 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. That's been their nemesis so far. They're playing pretty well.
Yeah, they haven't had the turnovers in the red zone. That first drive that ended in a field goal in the red zone was a little bit disappointing. That was part of the problem Iowa has had. Offense, Indiana didn't really crank it up till their last possession.
No, because they've gotten in third and long situations. They're only 2 of 7 in converting those. So Iowa, again, really dictating the pace and the tempo to Indiana. However, they did get some momentum going into half. You can tell Kellen Lewis is starting to get that confidence level up.
And then, of all things, after the Indiana touchdown drive, Austin Starr, of all people, misses a point after touchdown.
That rarely happens. That's like you missing a fairway. Never happens.
You haven't played much golf with me, have you? I miss fairways and greens with great regularity.
Oh, your game is much better than mine, though.
Bill Lynch concerned there. And again, we come to the second half. Indiana has really struggled in the second half of its games this season. And now they're in a position where they can ill afford to struggle.
Again, though, I think it was such a big momentum changer, though, for Indiana, getting Kellen Lewis some confidence going against a very stingy defense. So it'll be interesting to see how they get out the gates this second half.
Indiana will start on offense, as you mentioned, and there's the kickoff. Thigpen allows it to hit in the end zone, and the Hoosiers will not return. They'll take it out at the 20-yard line. Let's revisit the Suzuki ATV's keys to the game, Chris.
Well, everybody's talking about go green. That's exactly what Iowa's doing. He had over 70 yards in the first half and controlling the trenches, being physical at the point of attack. And then for Indiana, it's all about Kellen Lewis looking like the video game version where he's running, he's throwing, he's flipping, doing all those things. They need to continue to get him on a roll. We'll see it here.
Lewis 1st and 10. Although they have made the change at quarterback, and right now Chappell is in at quarterback. And he gets it out to the flat. Thigpen unable to beat Spivey, who makes an excellent open field tackle. The quarterback for the Iowa Hawkeyes, no gain.
And this is where I would have a challenge with Matt Kinnon, offensive coordinator. Kellen Lewis did start to get some rhythm, get on a roll going into halftime. I'm a bit surprised that they would start it off with Ben Chappell. But as you said, nice tackle there by Spivey.
Second down, 4 receivers set. Thigpen alongside the quarterback Chappell. Gets it away to Brendan Walker-Roby. Hit hard by Spivey. Walker-Roby lost his hat and gets out of bounds just short of the 25-yard line, a short gain.
Well, this is exactly what Iowa historically does. Again, they'll give you balls underneath all day long, but when they come up, they hit you. And you see you lose your helmet, you get on the ground. That's exactly, they're a scrappy defense. They play downhill and get to the football.
Now it's third down. Indiana, as Chris mentioned earlier, 2 of 7 on third down conversions in the first half. Chappell able to escape. And threw it wide, intended for Mitchell Evans. 1, 2, 3 and out for the Indiana Hoosiers. Not the way you want to start the second half. And Kellen Lewis is limping on the sidelines. We saw him limp earlier, coming out of the ball game briefly and then going right back in that late stages of the first half. And I wonder if he's going to be coming back in the second half. He did not start at quarterback on that drive.
And that's the reason you see Chappell. And if I'm a receiver for Indiana, all of a sudden you got to change how you run routes because you have Chappell, who's more of a pocket passer. So we got to keep an eye on that.
Agarup has been booming the ball here today. He gets off another one. Brodell makes the catch, hit immediately, breaks that tackle to the 32 to the 35, and is brought down near the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for Iowa. Excellent field position to start. 44-yard punt, 8-yard return. For today's Suzuki Way of Life honor roll, we recognize Indiana kicker Austin Starr. Starr, a biology major, hopes to someday be a dentist.
Yeah. He's such a likable kid. You spend 2 seconds with him, and he's such an infectious guy. Smart player.
Suzuki Automotive, live large, drive small. 1st down. Stanzi on the rollout. He's looked pretty good throwing the ball on the move. And he gets his man out of bounds. Sandeman across the 45-yard line. Anthony Herron joins us again on the sidelines. Anthony, what do you have on Kellen Lewis on that Indiana sideline?
Well, Wayne, the word right now from the Hoosier sideline is that Kellen Lewis has a lowered leg injury on his right leg. The return right now is questionable, so it could turn into some bad things for Indiana's offense.
You know, when he went out, Anthony, we thought it was a cramp because he came right back in. He didn't miss a play on that last touchdown drive by Indiana at the end of the 1st half, but obviously it's a little bit more than that. 2nd and short for Iowa now. They're knocking on the Indiana territorial door. I saw 2 defensive linemen come off sides. They must have been drawn by some kind of...
Ball start, 63 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Offensive malfeasance is what I was going to say, but Bill Lamagna said a lot better than I did. False start.
Malfeasance.
2nd down.
Welcome to the Scrabble tournament.
Yes. How many points do I get in there? but I have to spell it, don't I? I don't think I'm not a speller. 2nd down for the Hawkeyes. Sandeman, the wide receiver, in motion. Sean Green slips through, breaks tackles, across the 50, and finally spilled in Indiana territory near the 46-yard line. Well done, 10-yard gain.
Sean Green's one of those backs that physically you get tired of hitting because he's strong. He has low center of gravity. Look at the yards after contact. He gets 7 yards there after contact. Watch the initial contact here. And he bounces off, keeps his shoulders square, legs going. And that's exactly what he does, which is why he's the most physical back in the Big Ten Conference.
1st and 10. Green again, cutting it back. Inside the 40, down to the 39, making the 38-yard line. Gain of 7, and he gets up limping. We saw this in the 1st half several times after a play. He would get up limping, Chris, and then they'd hand him the ball, and he'd be 100%.
Well, he's limping. Kellen Lewis is limping. It speaks to the physicality of this game, and we knew it coming in on both sides that they're both very physical teams. Iowa's certainly a little more physical, but it's been a lot of shots out there today.
Will Kellen Lewis come back the next time the Hoosiers have the ball? Lower leg injury, as Anthony Herron reported. 2nd and short for Iowa. 2nd and about 2. Green rides the wave down to the 35-yard line, got the 1st down. And you see the strength of that Iowa offensive line beginning to wear down the defensive front. Greg Brown in on that tackle for Indiana. The thing I like about Green is that he is a physical back, but also, Chris, he has good vision and he's patient.
Yep, exactly right. He sets up his blocks well and really represents the identity of Iowa and what they've always been. That's a physical, downhill, running, attacking type team.
Green approaching 100 yards for the 7th straight game. He is 94 right now. Stanzi going deep. Brodell, touchdown! Oh, what a throw and catch. They beat Chris Adkins for a 34-yard touchdown play, and Iowa leads it 23-9.
Well, he couldn't have thrown it any better. Beautiful delivery by Stanzi. He gets the time, little pump fake, hitch and go. Ken O'Keefe calls this play at exactly the right time. Pound it, pound it, pound it, then take your shot down the field. You get one-on-one coverage. Good job, Brodell, creating separation.
Yes, he did. A little bit of a push there. You caught that too, huh, partner?
Good receiver, way to lean in.
Yes, indeed. The extra point is up, and it is good by Trent Mossbrucker. Iowa scores on its first possession of the 2nd half. It assumes a 24-9 lead over Indiana with 11:21 to go, 3rd quarter. moments ago, the touchdown, Ricky Stanzi to his go-to receiver, Andy Brodell.
Well, and you know, the key is at the end of this play. You'll see him push off there. Slight push off to create separation, and really it's not cheating if you don't get caught. Brodell, credit him for going up and getting the ball and getting to the house.
Brodell, who has posted season high in yardage and receptions each of the last 2 weeks, 3 receptions today, 83 yards and a touchdown. He has become, at least with Ricky Stanzi at the controls, the go-to receiver in the Iowa offense. Hawkeyes now leading 24-9. 11:21 to go in the third. And Brandon Walker-Roby on the return to the 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Tripped up by the kicker across the 45-yard line. Daniel Murray on a touchdown-saving tackle, 42-yard return.
Well, he certainly did, and Walker-Roby found that seam and got out. You talk about following your block and watch him hit the wedge. And once he does, he has top-end speed. He's moving. Murray, good job of getting him on the ground. Getting that open situation in his kicker, just get him on the ground.
Lewis continues to sit out. Again, lower leg injury, we're told, incurred late in the first half. Chappell at quarterback, and the give to Demetrius McCray. And the Indiana offensive interior has not been able to handle the Iowa defensive line. That time, the end, Christian Ballard came down to make the tackle. He's a sophomore out of Lawrence, Kansas.
Well, look how they reestablished the line of scrimmage. Anytime your running backs are making moves in the backfield 3 yards deep, it tells you that Iowa is dominating up front. They're bull rushing and pushing back Indiana's offensive line.
And you could see that Pete Saxon, number 64, got pushed right out of there. He's playing center, and he doesn't have a lot of experience at center. He's done it obviously in the training camp and practices, but he was moved to center today. Under pressure, Chappell waited for a moment, and then Mitch King looped around to bring him down back inside the 35 of the 33, loss of 15.
Well, you want me to show you the difference between Kellen Lewis and Ben Chappell? Here it is. Because Chappell's sitting here, he doesn't have the foot capabilities to slide and feel and move around and get rid of the football. And as such, Mitch King does what he does and gets a sack. These guys have been absolute terrors up front. I mean, they are dominating with the intensity up front on the line.
Third and very long. 3rd and 24. Chappell over the middle. Brandon Walker-Roby makes the catch, and Jeremiah Hutter sends him to the turf for the 37-yard line, far short of the first down.
You know who I haven't seen and where I've been looking? Where's Thigpen? Marcus Thigpen, your big play, big strike guy. Now, again, Iowa's been very tough against the run, but I'm surprised he hasn't gotten more opportunities so far.
I don't think it has anything to do with injury. He was out on the kickoff return that went to Walker-Roby a moment ago, but you're right, he's been very quiet today. Hager up in punt formation, just did get that one away. And a fair catch signal made, and then Brodell was bumped by Donnell Jones of Indiana. Penalty markers all over the play outside the 25-yard line of Iowa. Going to be fair catch interference.
And this is a youthful mistake by Donnell Jones, not having field awareness. Got to give the punt returner a chance to catch the ball.
Boy, you just get the feeling for Indiana, a season that began with such promise, trying to follow up a bowl appearance a year ago with another one this season, feeling like they may be even better than they were a year ago. It just hasn't happened for them. And you can feel the season slipping away.
Kick catch interference, number 10 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, spot of the foul. First down.
So the Hawkeyes, who've been playing on a short field all day, will take over in advance of their 40-yard line. When we come back, Iowa 24, Indiana 9. There is the story for Indiana. Kellen Lewis, their dynamic quarterback, a lower leg injury, had not played in the second half. Join host Mike Hall as he and his crew take you around the conference each week with a fun, unique look at every campus. Join them on Big Ten Friday Night Tailgate, presented by Nissan, 11:30 Eastern, only on the Big Ten Network. Wayne Larrivee, Chris Martin, Anthony Herron at Indiana. Well, the Hawkeyes have been very sound in building a 24-9 lead over the Hoosiers. 9:21 to go, third quarter. And once again, Iowa playing on a short field all day. Begin 1st and 10 out at their 42-yard line. Sean Green has 95 yards. And When you get a look at the time of possession, that's a big reason why. But Green has 95 of the 102 yards for the Hawkeyes on the ground. Stanzi, quick outlet. Brodell across the 50 into Hoosier territory. Got a first down. Back to Chicago, Dave Revson for an update. Dave?
Okay, Wayne, Minnesota and Illinois after the Illini fumbled deep in their own territory on the first possession of the second half. Minnesota capitalizes. DeLeon Eskridge takes it in. It's 14-6. Gophers.
I saw those Gophers last week, and you saw them opening week, Chris. Much improved program, and that would be a huge win if they went down to Champaign and got it done today.
On Illinois' homecoming.
First down for the Hawkeyes at the 46. They got the defensive line jumping. Green around the end and able to get out of bounds as he's knocked out of bounds by Austin Thomas. Penalty markers down, looked like a violation of the neutral zone.
Offside, 57 defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
1st and 5 now coming up for the Hawkeyes. Iowa came in. There's a look at it. Jumping on that line. That's, again, usually where the quarterback draws the defense off sides with his cadence.
A combination of that and anticipation. Indiana, a little undersized line, so they play with a lot of quickness.
Got a slot to the bottom of your screen. Green, the lone setback. He's got it. Nice hole off the left side. Down to the 35-yard line. He's got a first down on a gain of 7 yards.
You notice with Sean Green that when he gets the first point of contact, it's usually by a safety. I mean, he's getting second level even before he takes that initial contact. And he's great at wearing down defenses and running through tacklers.
Over 100 yards for the 7th consecutive game to begin this season for Sean Green. Running that time behind Brian Bulaga and Julian Vandervelde. Two big guys on that left side of the offensive line for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They have owned the line of scrimmage in this game. 1st and 10. Stanzi coming back for it. Trey Strauss inside the 25, and down he goes to the hand of Nick Polk near the 20-yard line of Indiana. 1st and 10, gain of 15.
Well, offensive coordinator Ken O'Keefe has taken a lot of stuff recently, but I love the play call today. It's been masterful. He's mixing up run and pass. He knows when to take his shots against that Indiana defense and how to work the zone coverage.
And that's classic Ken O'Keefe offense. Play action on 1st and 10, especially when you've got the ground game going the way he has today with Green.
Exactly right.
First down at the 20-yard line of Indiana. Here comes Green. Well, that time Curlew uncovered from his block and decked him at the line of scrimmage. Virtually no gain.
Curlew's really been the best player on that defense. He plays with a high motor, intense kid, and I like him because he's worked himself into a good player. He has calluses on his hands from all the hard work, and the coaches praise him for it.
2nd down and 10 for the Hawkeyes. As we continue in this 3rd quarter, Iowa has been methodical for the most part today. Very efficient, as we mentioned. And they've been very good in the red zone. 3 for 3, 2 touchdowns, and a field goal. 2nd down. Stanzi, play action. Over the middle, got a man wide open. It's Myers, touchdown, Brandon Myers. 20-yard touchdown pass from Ricky Stanzi. And Iowa leads 30-9.
O'Keefe is loving that, and he's calling a gym. I mean, this guy's wide open. And this is the 2nd time that they've come back to this sort of zone route where he's just working the interior. Watch the tight end. Wide open. Stanzi knows exactly where to go with the ball. He runs right up the seam, gets in between the safeties. Beautiful delivery.
Brandon Myers' 3rd touchdown of the season. The point after is good. Decisive score for Iowa there. 6:30 to go. 3rd quarter. The Hawkeyes increase their advantage to 31-9. Iowa in command now, 31-9, 6.5 to go in the third. Superfans program has even more ways to earn points. Tune into every Big Ten Network game and listen up for the in-game trivia question. Answer correctly online to earn 1,000 points. Go to www.bigtennetwork.com and follow the Superfans link. Today's question: how many touchdowns did former Indiana wide receiver Ernie Jones score during the 1987 season? Twin safeties back deep to receive for the Hoosiers. And again, Kellen Lewis has been out this second half with a lower leg injury, we're told. This kickoff carrying into the end zone. Thigpen told to stay there with it. And Indiana will accept at the 20-yard line.
Well, Wayne,
moments ago.
We talked about Ken O'Keefe and the play call. Well, this play's been there all day with the tight end getting up the seam route. You'll see Brandon Myers here just release off clean against the safety. And then Stanzi does a nice job of putting the ball in the numbers. But that's Ken O'Keefe studying tape, dissecting a defense, and setting up his offense in a position to succeed.
You know, you were mentioning it earlier that Ken O'Keefe has come under some heat from fans, the internet people, and all that in Iowa City this year. And Kirk Ferentz was asked about it by the media, and he has stood steadfast that his offensive coordinators running the same type of offense they ran when they were winning a lot of football games and going to Rose Bowls. Chappell on the carry here gets about 12. And, you know, so he sees no reason to make a change, nor does he change many plays during the game. The other question was, well, Kirk, do you change some of these plays? Yeah, he has final say on all calls offensively, but, you know, he says I change very, very few.
And it comes down to delivery in the red zone, which is what they're doing.
Ken O'Keefe is a proven offensive coordinator. Low snap, Chappell picks up. That's a lateral. And this is Ray Fisher, and he gets about 3 yards. But there's Ken O'Keefe, and he does a marvelous job with the quarterbacks in this program, and he's had some good ones over the years, and he's the offensive coordinator. One of the outstanding coaches in the Big Ten. 5 plays, 58 yards on that last drive. Myers, the senior at tight end, and he's really come on nicely in this his last year at Iowa. Cut back here by Chappell and gets 8 yards out to the 40-yard line. Give him a gain of 5 yards, I beg your pardon. Looks like they're taking some of the tape off of the quarterback Lewis, Kellen Lewis. That was Anthony Herron who was blocking our view there. He's still a big body out there.
He's still swole up, that's why.
Still think he could play somewhere. He doesn't have any eligibility left here, though.
He certainly looks like he can.
3rd down and short. Chappell looking around. Plenty of time this time. Chappell and coming back for a nice play made. Beautiful catch and a comeback route by Evans, the wide receiver, Mitchell Evans, sophomore out of West Milton, Ohio. We talked to him earlier. He's the athlete. They don't know where to play him, but they're going to play him somewhere. He gets 22 yards.
Well, and Chappell's your prototype pocket passer. Good feel to slide away from the pressure and put the ball outside. Good job by Chappell. On page with his receiver, Mitchell Evans.
Chappell trying to rally the Hoosiers. That one wide of the mark, and they got some pressure up front that time to the Iowa Hawkeyes as Carl Klug came up the middle. And it's 2nd and 10.
Wayne, not to belabor, but I've been so impressed with this Iowa defense. I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing them live, and they just fly to the football. They don't make mistakes. They don't hide what they do or try and give you a lot of eye candy. They line up and play football, but they're confident in what they do. They wrap you up, and they don't give you yards after catch.
2nd and 10. Chappell has some time, finds an open man. That's Ray Fisher out of bounds, got a 1st down inside the 25 of the 23-yard line, gain of 15 yards. Greenwood, the safety, forced him out.
When you start attacking the zone defense, it's usually outside in the perimeter. Get the ball over the corner and in front of the safety. Good ball placement by Chappell.
Hurry up offense. Chappell takes it straight ahead. Inside the 15, down near the 13-yard line, just short of the 1st down on a gain of 9.
Chappell design quarterback draw. Good job of going to pick it up. He's a big body. He's 225 pounds.
And Chris, we've seen several low snaps. And again, Pete Saxon, normally the left guard, is playing center here today. Chappell calling the play at the line. He's got a 5-receiver set. Belcher is the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Good fade route runner. Going the other way is Chappell. broken up and caught in the end zone. No. Evans almost had it, but by the time he had gathered it in, he was out of play.
Well, I'll tell you something that you usually don't see, and that's Iowa going man coverage. But clearly one-on-one there. Good job, good recovery. But Norm Parker mixing it up.
Oh, that went off the helmet of Tyler Sash, who had coverage. And then watch Evans make the catch on him, but he's out of bounds. We said he's a good athlete.
Yeah.
Indeed he is.
He'll keep that one on his highlight reel. But Iowa, again, going from zone to man-to-man defense.
They are going to review that play. Let's see if we can pick it up. Did he catch this?
I was down at this end of the field, couldn't he?
Well, he's got it, you know, and is he in or is he out? That's the question. Is he touching out of play? It's hard to say. Does he have a foot inbounds? Well, the foot is not the deal here. Is he sliding out of bounds by the time he gathers it in? And he had an official right on that play with a good view.
Well, you talk about hand-eye coordination, concentrating on the football. Watch him concentrate. Look at his eyes the whole time.
This goes off the helmet of Tyler Sash, the safety. Evans stays right with it. Tom Ranson is reviewing off the pictures you are seeing on your television screen right now.
Look at the concentration on this play.
Wow, that is hand-eye coordination at its very best. Okay, when does he gain possession? Is his back out of bounds by the time he gained? Hard to tell on that play.
The play stands is called incomplete pass.
And again, folks, they apparently felt they did not have enough video evidence to overturn it. And in fact, his elbow may have been on the out-of-bounds line, on the end line of the end zone when he finally did gather it in. Looked like a replay confirmed a good call on the field. Third down for Indiana. Third and short for the Hoosiers. Chappell with Payton the lone setback. Play action to Payton. Chappell, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it over the tight end, Troy Wagner. Wagner could not quite come up with it. And now it's fourth down and short. And obviously they're going for it here.
Well, that's because Tyler Sash does a good job of coming downhill. Playing physical in the middle.
That ball was out before Tyler Sash got there, but Sash made him pay it.
He'll take credit for it.
Now the quarterback sneak, and that's what Chappell did earlier this season. He would come in these short yardage situations to do a quarterback sneak. Not as easily done against the Iowa defensive front as it is against like Western Kentucky or Murray State or one of the teams earlier this season that were on the Hoosier schedule.
And that's largely due to the penetration. You can't say enough good things about King and Cole up front. Senior leadership. The tenacity of that defense starts with the defensive line.
You mentioned Norm Parker's defense. They're calling the change from across the way. 11.2 points a game, first in the Big Ten, second nationally, third in the Big Ten, 21st nationally in yardage, second in the Big Ten, 19th nationally in rushing yardage. And the Hoosiers come up just short, inches short of picking it up. And the Hawkeye offense comes back onto the field. The defense turns them away. This is a very impressive defense for Iowa. There's no doubt about that. You go back to some of their good teams in the earlier part of this decade. I'm talking about 2002, 2003, 2004. This defense might be of that ilk. However, the offense has not been quite as good as those offenses of that era. They're going through the growing pains with a first-year starting quarterback in Ricky Stanzi. Green looking for running room. Change of direction. Holt cannot wrap him up, but he slowed him up, and then Patterson put him away. Back at the 10-yard line, loss of 4. Next Saturday, the Heartland Trophy up for grabs when the Badgers battle the Hawkeyes. Chris, you and the crew will be there for that one. Then in primetime, Indiana, Illinois square off at a key conference showdown. Coverage starts with the Football Saturday pregame show, 11 Eastern on the Big Ten Network.
Speaking of physical backs, B.J. Hill, Sean Green.
They mix it up pretty good. And that'll be a good one in Iowa City. Second down and about 14. Green, big hole, up the middle, 20. Upended by Polk across the 25, got a first down. 16-yard run by Sean Green right up the gut.
Now, Green's a great back, but watch how clear this is. I mean, there is nothing but open pasture. His first contact is by Nick Polk.
I think the umpire slowed him down, don't you? I really do. Made him change direction there. There it is, up over 113 yards now.
I believe he's one of only 2 backs in the FBS.
Yeah, and you know, Anthony Herron told the story, Chris, earlier about how Sean Green was not a part of the program last year. He had academic problems, went to Kirkwood Community College, got the academics straightened out, did not join the Hawkeyes until the summer. Stanzi, wide open. He's got the big tight end once again. Brandon Myers all alone, and he's got yardage out across the 40 to the 42-yard line at a 16-yard gain.
Well, he just seems to be in a comfort zone with Myers. He knows exactly where he's going to be, sits down well in the zone defense, and he's able to box out the linebackers.
Is it just me, or does Stanzi seem a lot more comfortable to you here in this second half?
No question about it, but he's had an offensive line that's given him an incredible amount of time today. You haven't seen him move his feet quite a bit other than the rollout, which is by design. He's getting a lot of time in the pocket.
So that shot over the shoulder of Bill Lynch, the coach of the Hoosiers. Stanzi under pressure now, able to elude Curlew, gets it away and finds the tight end once again, stumbling inside the 45, down near the 42-yard line of Indiana. Brandon Myers, another 16-yard gain. Chris Atkins finally got him to the turf.
Well, and Curlew's going to be mad at himself here. He's one-on-one. He's looking to pick up his second sack of the game, but he lets Stanzi, who's a pretty good athlete in his own right, escape and find his guy, Brandon Myers.
8 straight completions now for Ricky Stanzi. Couple of big ones to Brandon Myers. And it's first down Iowa on the move again to the 42-yard line of Indiana. Green, the lone setback. He's at 113 rushing yards already today, and he gets it again. Trying to follow his blocking, and he pile drives and gets what he can. About 2 yards down to the 40-yard line.
Going back to Stanzi, you know how they had the quarterback quandary at the beginning where they go with Christensen and Stanzi, and I really felt that Stanzi gave this Iowa team the best chance to win because he's very consistent. You know exactly what you're going to get. Now, is he going through growing pains? Absolutely. Inside the red zone, he's turned the ball over, but when he's on, he's very confident with his reads. He knows where he wants to go and decisive with the football.
Second down for Iowa. That's Brodell in motion. Green trying to cut it back, and this time the Hoosiers were there to meet him at the pass. The player who really blew that play up with his penetration was the linebacker Geno Johnson, and then he got good pursuit that time. I go back to our conversation with Bill Lynch yesterday, and we were talking, and he said, you know, each team has lost 3 in a row, but they may be a little closer than we are, and that Iowa had lost 3 in a row by a combination of 9 points, combined 9 points. Indiana had lost by, to Ball State 42-20, 42-29 to Michigan State, and 16-7 at Minnesota. So Bill Lynch knew his mind was up against it. This Iowa team came into the 3-3 record, but they're a lot better than 3-3.
No doubt.
Stanzi, plenty of time again, and that time hit the back of the defender. Kleinsmith had the coverage downfield on Trey Strauss at the 35-yard line of Indiana, and it is a 4th down for the Hawkeyes.
Stanzi trying to deliver the ball to his receiver outside, and that's why when we talked to Coach Ferentz about his team, and although they've lost their last 3, he was still very confident in his guys. He knows they play with great effort, and he believes in his kids. He said, hey, we just got to go out and execute, and so far we've seen him doing just that.
Ray Turner back deep to receive this punt from Ryan Donahue, who has placed 7 inside the 20 this season. And this one, he could bring rain. If there weren't clouds in the sky, he'd bring rain with that one. Fair catch signal made, and the catch completed by Ray Fisher at the 11-yard line. Folks, find out what it takes to be a football player in the Big Ten. Go behind the scenes with Coach Ron Zook and the Illini every week on Illinois Football: The Journey, starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on the Big Ten Network. A well-done series. It does take you inside that locker room. Feel the emotion of the ups and downs of a Big Ten season. And believe me, there's plenty of both for everybody. Chapel on a quarterback, and again, Kellen Lewis, if you joined us late, suffered a lower leg injury late in the first half, and he has not played here in the second half. Thigpen gets it. Boy, there was a little mishandle exchange, and then Thigpen was just overwhelmed on the play. No chance to get anything going. Cody Coleman brought him down.
Well, Thigpen's been like a genie in a bottle, and I'm surprised, though, that he hasn't gotten more touches today.
So while Lewis sits out the second half, we saw him get his ankle retaped. I'm not sure if he'll be able to come back in this ball game. It doesn't look like he will. We turn the page to the fourth quarter with Iowa in command at Indiana, looking to snap a 3-game losing streak. It's the Hawkeyes 31, the Hoosiers 9. This is a gorgeous campus, especially at this time of year. You look at the score by quarters. We begin the fourth quarter. Second down for Chapel and company. He got an open receiver, threw it behind Ray Fisher at the 30-yard line. Partner, I don't want you to hit the exits quite yet, but Iowa's outscored its opponents 52-15 in the fourth quarter, and they start the fourth quarter with a 31-9 lead on Indiana.
Yeah, there's no turning back. That time, ball in the back hip, but Ray Fisher, very capable receiver. He's got to pull that in, help out his quarterback.
Indiana was 1 of 10 on third down conversions last week at Minnesota. They're not much better this week. Chapel gets the first down. Terrence Turner out to the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 on a 13-yard gain.
Turner went up and snatched that one. That's what I like to see. Wide receivers going over the middle, catching the ball clean and catching the ball with their hands.
So Indiana now 4 of 12 on third down conversions this week. Payton for short yardage. Every once in a while, you got to hand it to the running back just so the defense knows you'll do that on occasion. But, you know, they have not been able to get Marcus Thigpen involved in this game at all, Chris. And that's been, you know, that's been one of the curiosities about this contest so far.
And I don't know that they've tried enough. I mean, a guy like that, you go in expecting to get him touches, not carries, meaning, hey, move him out at wide receiver. Just find positions and ways to get him the ball.
Thigpen not on the field at the moment. Payton is in there. So look at the numbers. Chapel on the run. Throws it back against the grain. Got a first down. Good throw and catch. Ray Fisher for 14 yards. Tyler Sash made the hit.
That was a good job of finding the zone. Again, Chapel showing that he can slide and evade the rush. Puts the ball on the numbers. Good job, Ray Fisher, moving the chains.
Again, Indiana in the hurry up. Here comes Evans. And he is figuring more and more in the offense. Out across the 45 to the 48-yard line at a gain of about 7 yards.
You know what's interesting watching this game is that Iowa forces you to be patient. And if you're a spread attack team, that's really the last thing that you want to do, which is the challenge for Indiana.
Yeah, we'll widen the shot here in a moment and show you the two safeties and how deep they are. Here comes Chapel, and he fumbles. And the Hawkeyes cover it inside the Iowa 40 near the 37-yard line.
For Ben Chapel, the ball carrier.
Jeremiah Hunter gathered it in.
Lets the ball, see the ball get away from his body. Oh, nice little shot there.
No foul on the play. The flag came out instead of the beanbag. No foul.
Hey, when that happens.
We had people waving at us up here. Flag. I said, where? Why? Goodness. So the Hawkeyes, who are back on track, on the lead and back on the field offensively in that hard-hitting Iowa defense. You know, even during the 3-game losing streak, that defense was rock solid. And it has been even better than that today, taking a high-scoring, normally high-scoring Indiana offense and just basically keeping it off the field. Timeout taken by Indiana, the indication from the linesman. I don't know if Bill Lynch wanted that timeout called. He wants a challenge. Indiana's going to challenge this call. Bill is saying down by contact before the ball came loose. That's his rule. That's his question. Watch it again. Where's the ball coming out here? Boy, I I don't know. Well, I don't know on that shot if you have enough video evidence to overrule the call on the field, or do you? What'd you see, partner?
No, I would agree with you on that. I just don't think there's enough visual evidence. Take another look at it.
It looks to me like the ball's coming out there. I think they had the call on the field right. But I'm usually wrong in these things, so we'll just wait for the officials to take care of it. Tom Ransom up here on the press box level, and Bill Labonte down on the field. And apparently it's been challenged, and the ruling on the field upheld. 1st and 10 for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Jewel Hampton will get some carries now. Hampton, a freshman out of Indianapolis, Warrant Central High School. I mentioned that earlier. First team All-State Indiana last year. His high school team won state titles in the 2004, 2005, and 2006 seasons, and he was a team captain. They like this young player. He's gonna be a good one. He doesn't dance. Iowa doesn't like running backs that dance.
It doesn't fit their style and what they want to do.
Because they're blowing people out up front. You better not be dancing. You better be going.
Coming downhill.
2nd down. No gain on that play. And Hampton gets the call up the middle. There is downhill for 13 yards to the 50-yard line. And a 1st down Iowa. Let's get back down to the sidelines. Anthony Herron, we have not seen Kellen Lewis in this 2nd half. What do you have for us?
And the Indiana coaching staff is still calling Kellen Lewis questionable to return to the game. They've got some ice on his foot. His shoe is off. They're icing down the IT band area right there in the lower right leg. So it's not looking like he's going to return, but they have not determined him out yet.
Thank you, Anthony. 1st down for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Almost 3 minutes gone by, 4th quarter. Iowa in command. Stanzi rolling out. As an open receiver, juggled, caught, no. Possession not gained while in play. Trey Struss on the try. Let's go back to Dave Revson for an update in Chicago.
All right, guys, we got an upset brewing at the Big House. Alex Steigerwald, the 48-yard field goal off the crossbar and through. Toledo leads Michigan 13-10 in the 4th.
You know, when you see field goal attempts hit the crossbar and go over, you know it might be somebody's day. Those are ominous things, you know, just as an observer, Chris, you've been on the field. that's an ominous type of occurrence. And Hampton again. This is what they like about him. No dance about it. He blasts away for 13 yards at a 1st down to the 38-yard line of Indiana.
If you watch Iowa's running backs up closely, they always have their shoulder pads square. Watch how square they're going through the hole. And that allows them to do what they do best, and that's run through initial contact and bring pain to the secondary.
It was kind of in conjunction with the open of our program with our tease there. Exact pain.
A lot of that to go around.
Pain to the max, I believe it was. 1st and 10 for the Hawkeyes. They get motion from Reisner at tight end. And Hampton, nice hold up the middle. Boy, I'll tell you, they are just filleting the Indiana defensive front. That Iowa offensive line, gain of 9 to the 29.
I'm a guy that I've expected to see more of is Greg Middleton to be a factor.
Yep.
And not to say that he's underperforming, but I really thought he would step his game up. Again, we go back to the number 9 sacks against this team a season ago. And Iowa's given up a number of sacks this year. Their quarterbacks hit the carpet. I would have expected him to step up and sort of get back to true form.
Chris, it's interesting because the coaches told us that Middleton in the last couple of weeks has practiced much better, and I think they expected him to have a breakthrough here today too in terms of this season. But he's been rather quiet as Hampton gets the call. Now here's the other thing about the game last year. Indiana got up 21-0 early in that game, and that's a pass rusher's dream. They had 9 sacks against Iowa in that game in Iowa City, but a lot of that had to do with the game situation. And I think a lot of Indiana's sack totals from last year, and they had over 40 sacks on the season, and an injured Hawkeye down on the field. I believe that's Julian Vandervelde, who is shaken up. I beg your pardon. No, it's we'll check the number here and get it exact. That's Brandon Myers, the tight end, number 83, not 63, that's down on the field. We'll be right back after these words. To Indiana, Iowa leading 31-9. College hoop season doesn't officially begin until you watch the Big Ten Tonight basketball tip-off special. Take a live look at all the festivities happening on campus Friday night, 9 Eastern, only on the Big Ten Network. That is famous Assembly Hall here in Bloomington. The tight end Brandon Myers headed off under his own power. He's on the sidelines now. Jewel Hampton gets the call, and the Hawkeyes are just trying to wind this one down. Almost 5 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Iowa in command 31-9. Gain of about 4 yards on that play down to the 23. They've got an injured Hoosier down on the field.
Yeah, this has been such a physical game. Just a number of guys on the carpet today.
And that's Geno Johnson who's shaken up. I've seen a lot of guys go off and have to with some aid and then come back in. Yeah. Sometimes you wonder like that, maybe, you know, you think in a hot day like this and it's in the 80s, maybe that's a cramp, but he's trying to walk it off right there. Second down for the Iowa offense. They are inside the Hoosier 25. Hampton got a nice block from Leppert, and Hampton finishes the run with authority over Klein Smith. He's got a first down. Back to Dave in Chicago for an update. Dave.
Okay, Wayne, the Illini getting
still a ball game over there. Some of you will, well, all of you on this network will see Illinois in prime time against these Indiana Hoosiers next Saturday night. Out of the eye, Hampton, big haul to the 10-yard line. Jewel Hampton, and again we talk about time of possession, time spent on the field on a hot day. That big Iowa power offensive line just opening up one hole after another, gain of 8 there.
Well, and they love to run to the left side behind Balaga. He's the big guy up front, just downhill, continuing to do what they do and execute their offense. And I'll tell you where Ken O'Keefe has to be most pleased is how they played in the red zone. And that just gives this team a shot of confidence. They've been finishing these drives with touchdowns instead of field goals.
Eubanks in at the left guard spot, just inside of Bulaga. And they go left side again. Jewel Hampton inside the 5, reaching for the goal line. Touchdown for the Indiana native. Ten-yard run. Jewel Hampton reached it across.
Well, this young kid was determined to make Big Ten tonight, because watch this. Watch his power and determination upon contact. He keeps striving. And he has the wherewithal to extend his arms out and break the plane. Another good cutback run by the youngster, finishing it with authority.
I'd say he's one that got away from the Indiana people, don't you think, out of Indianapolis?
I think they're saying it too.
Yeah. The extra point is good, and the Iowa Hawkeyes comfortably in front 38-9 with just under 9 minutes to go in Bloomington. The Hawkeyes on the verge of snapping a 3-game losing streak and getting right back into the bowl picture. Ricky Stanzi, number 12 in your picture right there. The Iowa quarterback, sophomore out of Mentor, Ohio. 12 of 20, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, has just marched the Hawkeyes 63 yards in 10 plays. It took 4 minutes and 23 seconds off of that clock. The Cargill passing combination is Ricky Stanzi to Andy Brodell. 4 receptions, 95 yards, 34-yard touchdown catch.
Made some tough catches too, over the middle, going up and getting it, showing a lot of courage.
Thigpen chasing this one. It's returnable from the 5 to the 20. Out across the 25, and again the coverage has been very good for Iowa today. 24-yard return.
And at this point in the game, you really do want to see Indiana show some fight, some life, some energy out there, and show that they're not capitulating. They're going out, they're still balling up their fists and getting after it.
Well, you know, if you don't have Kellen Lewis and you've got Ben Chappell, that's a much different quarterback, and I would imagine, Chris, you have to run a much different type of offense. Chappell, the play action, keeps it himself. Now, he can make runs like 8 or 9 yards like that, but he's not going to threaten the defense and break 160-some yards like Kellen Lewis would. Yeah. There's the the big fog, keeping everybody cool.
That defense been bringing the heat, so.
Yeah, trying to cool off the offense a little bit. That's been pretty hot too the second half. Again, a low snap. And the catch made out of play. Incomplete. Calling that one in. Pass out of play. So it'll be a third down now. Pass intended for the tight end, Max Dedman. Third and short. Demetrius McCray got stacked up and then tackled short of the line of scrimmage. Iowa's been so dominant on the interior of the lines. I know it sounds like a broken record, folks, but they have just dominated between the tackles.
Well, they reestablished the line of scrimmage. I mean, look how deep the tackles are getting pushed back. The offensive tackles for Indiana, they cannot anchor down because of the physicality of the front four of Iowa.
Are you surprised at Indiana's punting in this situation?
I am a bit surprised.
Yeah, I am a little bit too.
What do you have to lose at this point?
I agree. Brodell on the return. Took one the distance against Iowa State. A crucial play to help the Hawkeyes beat their interstate rivals. Intrastate rivals, I should say. 41-yard punt, 6-yard return. Iowa back on the field offensively at the Hawkeye 32 when we come back. Iowa snapping a 3-game losing streak in style on the road, leading 38-9. Today's Polaris Ranger hardest working player of the game, Mitch King, number 47 in the middle of that Iowa defensive line.
Well, what I like about Mitch King, he just looks like a defensive lineman. Look at him. He's got the hair going.
He's got the A.J. Hawk look. You know?
He's what you want your defensive lineman to look like. And boy, he plays hard. I mean, some guys win with technique, some guys win with effort. He does both. He's just a relentless player. He never stops his motor.
Jake Christensen in at quarterback. He started a couple of games earlier this season. He was the starter last year. Getting the call, Jewel Hampton, the Indianapolis native, gain of 6 yards. Let's go back to Dave Revson in the studio.
Thank you, Wayne. Updating you on Minnesota and Illinois. Juice Williams gets hit here by Willie Vandestieg. Simone Lawrence scoops and scores for the Gophers, but Illinois has just scored a touchdown on a long TD pass from Williams. 27-19, extra point pending.
It's a lot of ping pong going back and forth there.
Sure is. Second down for the Iowa Hawkeyes. See a lot of backup players in the lineup here. Hampton is one of them, and he's a good-looking future at running back for the Iowa Hawkeyes. He gains the first down on a gain of 3. So the Hawkeyes get their season back on track with this win. We mentioned coming into the game here today, as you look at Jake Christensen and the numbers on him, when you take a look at their situation, this gets their season back on track. And that was what was at stake for both sides here. Rarely, Chris, do you see a team go bowling that has lost 4 games in a row over the course of a season. I mean, it's happened and it can happen, but it's not likely to happen. And this will be the 4th loss in a row for Indiana. And to try to juke the man in the backfield, and that he was trying to juke J.B. Curlew, and he's seen that move more than once, and he decks him for a loss of 1. Around the Big Ten, well, how about Ringer and Sutton top the rushing charts? They're meeting up in Evanston a little bit later today. Something's got to give in that matchup between Purdue and Ohio State. Oilers in the air, and of course Ohio State with that pass defense. The Lions looking to hand the Badgers their 2nd straight home loss, and that would be, if I'm not mistaken, unprecedented in the Bielema era.
Sure. Uncharted territory for him, staring down the barrel of potentially going 0-3 in the conference. Hampton
once again getting a nice workout here out across the 45-yard line to the 46. And a gain of 4. So it'll be 3rd down coming up for the Iowa Hawkeyes. We're inside of 5.5 minutes to go for the game.
Well, Wayne, in prepping this week for Iowa, you know, you read up on teams, you try and drill down and figure out just what your thoughts are coming in. It's particularly if you haven't seen them before. But I couldn't be more impressed with Iowa on both sides of the ball. I mean, they play with great effort. At least in this game, they've certainly executed. And Ricky Stanzi has been a paradigm of consistency, which is what they've been wanting from their quarterback play.
Hampton up over 100 yards rushing, 18 carries, 100 yards. So the Iowa Hawkeyes have 2 runners over 100 yards. Christensen has an open field. Why not take it? And he slides down inside the 45-yard line on a late hit amidst a flag. Personal foul against Indiana.
Just no need to. No need.
Darius Johnson a little bit late in getting over there, perhaps.
Following the play. Dead ball. Personal foul, late hit, number 44. 15 yards stacked on. First down.
Frustration, you think, here?
Well, I think just not awareness there. I mean, just no awareness.
Yeah, that was blatant. The quarterback was down.
Sure.
In that situation, if you're the defensive back, or in this case linebacker, you just do a flyby.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, Indiana has been the worst team in the Big Ten in terms of penalties. They're just under 60 yards a game.
You know, and people will say that's about discipline. What do you think as a former player? Is that discipline? Is that on the coaching staff in some respects?
Well, I think it falls back to the players, particularly when you talk about discipline. They've certainly been playing this game for long enough to know, like in that last play, to ease up, to slide off, particularly in this point in the game.
Jamie Murphy, number 17, getting a shot. The special teams stand up. U.S. Marine Corps salutes Ricky Stanzi, today's player of the game. A nice job on 12 of 20, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chris, he did a tremendous job, I thought, in the second half. He really took command of this offense and started marching it.
Absolutely, and showed control and decisiveness. His numbers aren't gaudy, but he certainly delivered when he had to. Got this team on track.
Christensen. Once again, Jamie Murphy getting the call. Murphy, and you watch tape on Iowa, you'll see Murphy making one tackle after another on special teams, and he gets rewarded with some carries in the backfield. So the Hawkeyes face a 3rd down and 5 at the 25 of Indiana.
Correct me if I'm wrong, partner. I think Indiana's only had 1 sack today.
If I'm not mistaken, you're right.
Those DNs.
Unable to get it going. Curlew had a shot at one and fell off. 3rd and 5. Christensen, lunging grab. Is it a catch? Are they going to rule it a catch? No, it's incomplete. Hampton Hotel's winning play of the game. We'll take a look at it. Ricky Stanzi finding his senior tight end. Brandon Myers in the end zone for the touchdown.
And they executed the play, but you know who made the play? Ken O'Keefe. I mean, he saw that seam route. It was there earlier in the game. Nice job of delivering.
Touchdown at Hampton. Wake up a winner. 4th down. And the Hawkeyes are not going to try a field goal. They're just going to try to run some more time off the clock. Christensen going to try to get the 1st down, and he does. Marvin McNutt, a quarterback whom they've been converting into wide receiver, gain of 10. And that's a 1st and 10. Hawkeyes have it at the 14-yard line of Indiana. We're under 3 minutes to go for the game.
And Wayne, I know this looks like it's meaningless if you're Iowa, but these are meaningful reps for Jake Christensen. And obviously going back and forth, he needs to play games to improve his own game. So this is good work for him, and he's approaching it as such.
1st down, football at the Indiana 14-yard line. Been a long day for that Indiana defense. Jewel Hampton trying to bounce to the outside and gets what he can, which is about a yard. Indiana had it well stacked at the point of attack.
You look at teams in the conference, the Iowas, the Penn States, Wisconsin, Michigan State, they do a great job of controlling the clock with their power run game. They're not spreading you out. They're getting people in the box. They're saying coming right downhill, just line up and play and see if you can stop us, and most teams can't.
Well, that spread offense, it's designed to get the big play, get the one-on-one coverage, and somebody slips, and all of a sudden you've got a big play. Around the end, making the turn, Hampton reaching for the pylon, and he's in for the touchdown. Jewel Hampton with a 13-yard touchdown run. And Iowa leads 44-9.
Well, he's showing burst, suddenness, ability to get out on the perimeter, and knows how to finish runs. Again, reaching for the pylon and getting it there. It's a youngster with a very promising future for Iowa.
He's got game, there's no doubt about that. But so does the runner ahead of him, Sean Green. They're going to take a look at it upstairs. Let's see what they're looking for. Was he in play when he took off? I think the question is merely, did he touch it? Did his right foot touch out of bounds as he elevated it? Let's see if we can pick it up right here. What do you think, Chris?
Coming right at you. No.
I think he's out of bounds. Replay's done a good job today. They have, and is it right there? That, yep. That's what you call enough video evidence. Now, he reached the ball over the pylon. That's all he had to do there, but the ruling was his foot was out of bounds. Bill Lamonier talking with the officials upstairs. Tom Ransom heading up the replay crew.
Following review, evidence shows that the runner stepped out of bounds at the 3-yard line. The Iowa's ball, first down at the 3.
So take off that score, and once again the value of replay.
Well, I think you see it right there on the white. That's an excellent call by the refs. And they've been on it today.
They have. Yeah, they've been working in conjunction, and there it is, right there.
See if my arrow will show you some form of an arrow.
Kind of an arrow. You're not a draftsman, I know that. No, an architect or something. Oh my. So Iowa, first down and goal to go to 3. Will Hampton get it this time? Boy, he somehow got underneath the defense and almost got it in. He's inside the 1-yard line, just short.
Good pursuit by Indiana that time, sealing off that run lane.
The heat coming up off the turf here. Temperature getting into the 80s today here. It's a beautiful day. A little warm if you're playing. Second down for Iowa. Hampton, no doubt, touchdown. They're not going to have to replay that one.
No, he's making sure of it. And I think he wanted that one for a stat sheet. And
Jewel Hampton, again, out of Indianapolis, Indiana. 2 touchdowns, 100+ yards rushing today. Just kind of skipped over the line that time. So the extra point. And the Iowa Hawkeyes have a 45-9 lead over the Indiana Hoosiers. Now what's ahead for the Iowa Hawkeyes coming up? They return home to Iowa City off a 2-game road trip. They were at Michigan State last week and here this week. But they're back home. They take on the Wisconsin Badgers, 24th ranked team in the country. Wisconsin with a huge home game tonight against Penn State. And then on the road to Illinois. And Penn State, Purdue, come to Iowa City, and then Minnesota on the road to wrap it up.
Well, it's a tough stretch, the next 3.
And that's why today's game was so important for the 3-3 Hawkeyes. Kirk Ferentz, a job well done by he and his staff here this week.
Yes, indeed. And he's got to be just thrilled. You see him over there cracking a smile to see his players go out and execute. I mean, he's believed in his team. And, you know, he said it's kind of hard to get down on his guys because they play with great effort.
Meanwhile, for Indiana now, falling falling below the break-even point at 2-4. They will play at Illinois next Saturday night. Then Northwestern and Central Michigan come to town. Then Wisconsin. So they've got a 3-game homestand right there.
Boy, it doesn't get any easier for Billy Lynch and his crew.
Yeah, they've got to play much better than they did today. That's for sure. Marcus Thigpen to the 25-30 and brought down near the 31-yard line. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference. Along with Chris Martin and Anthony Herron, I'm Wayne Larrivee. The Hoosiers have 53 seconds left. They're down 45-9, a crushing defeat for Indiana here at home. Kellen Lewis has been on the bench for the entire second half with a lower leg injury. And Ben Chappell has been running the attack. Chappell gets a low snap once again. Able to get it away, and Taylor is angled out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Colin Taylor, a wide receiver, forced out of play. That's a gain of about 3 yards to the 34. Most points scored by Iowa since 1997. 45 points. That's hard to believe.
Anthony Herron might have been on that team.
And this one taken away. The interception made, and down the sideline, heading into the end zone for the touchdown for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Sean Prater. True freshman out of Omaha, Nebraska. 46-yard return.
Pick 6. Sean Prater.
Number 58. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Wipe that out. LeBron Daniel hauled for the infraction. Goodness. So that takes away an interception return for a touchdown by the true freshman Sean Prater, whose twin brother Shane is a tight end on the Iowa team. First set of twins to play at Iowa since the mid-90s.
You know Prater's going to go over to him after the game.
You say, you owe me one.
Pick 6.
You owe me. Here comes Peyton right at the defense. Gain of 8 down to the 43-yard line of Iowa, but too little too late for the Indiana Hoosiers, who fall here this afternoon, 45-9. Final 30 seconds melting off the clock. Disheartening loss for the Hoosier program. Now a 2-4. Making a bowl game will be a long shot. Chappell. Marlo Belcher, the freshman, the intended receiver. That's the first pass we've seen thrown in his direction today. Huge win, I think, for Kirk Ferentz in getting this season turned around. They had 3 close losses, 3 difficult losses in a row, and they get the worm turned, so to speak, and will improve to 4-3.
Well, and hopefully they get the bowl stock turned around, at least for another week. And we'll see what happens against Wisconsin.
Chappell getting the second half here today. His pass knocked away, incomplete. Coleman got a piece of it, knocked it away. And so
knocked down by number 55, Cody Coleman.
Kirk Ferentz, and like you said, came in harboring bowl hopes and found a safe haven, at least for now, off this victory here today. 4th down for Indiana. Chappell, why not? Belcher in the end zone, jump ball. Incomplete. So the final score, the Iowa Hawkeyes 45, Indiana 9. For Anthony Herron and Chris Martin, I'm Wayne Larrivee. Iowa, with that victory, improves to 4-3. Let's go to Dave Revsine and the crew back at our Chicago studios.